Oh, that was you before.
Love that song.
It's a good song. Yeah, because it popped up this afternoon. I'm like, are we supposed to go live this afternoon? I'm not ready.
Wait, where are we supposed to be
I'm
able to?
blinded by the light.
The original or the redo?
There's a redo? I feel like I must like the redo. That's pretty right
Do you
on
like
for me.
the 5-man electrical band version or the Bruce Springsteen version?
Isn't it The Weekend?
I'm thinking of a different song then.
Okay.
He's thinking of Blinding Lights. You're thinking of Blinded by the Light.
Yes.
Yeah, isn't that what they said? Blinded by the light?
No, Blinding Lights.
Yeah, Blinding Lights.
Oh.
I appreciate how close we are.
I am Wow.
You were close. I mean, you were onto something.
I was close, but
it's definitely a song.
It is a song.
And in the end, that's all we can say. That's all we know. It's a song.
That is. Okay. So here we go.
Continue to happen.
I'm gonna try to. Oh, why can't I?
Hopefully, you're not going to play it, or we're going to get like not demonetized. We don't make money, but
No.
We'll get taken down.
Maybe I can't talk in the chat.
Hello,
Is that the rule? Like, if you ever make a porno, play like Disney music in the background because they'll hunt it down and take it off.
They'll take it down immediately. So if you ever make a sex tape, always play like "Kiss the Girl" in the background.
Oh, shala la 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 la.
And they'll immediately take it down.
You could also go for something like a less mood ruining, like the Beatles, maybe.
But Disney is brutal about takedowns. That's the point. Like, they have hunted down every single like Etsy seller ripping off Baby Yoda. Like, they will come for you.
They are coming for you.
They will come.
I
They
can't
will take
come for you.
Everything
Maybe
that you
I
have.
haven't.
Everyone that you are will be gone.
No.
Had your kids,
Disney.
wife.
Hide your kids, hide your wife. Yeah, I don't think I can chat. Sorry, guys. I can't test.
That's
Test.
right. We've got it working right now.
All right.
Hey.
Hey, look at that. I feel
here we go.
Yeah, like Nabbers is like, I want to be the person who has to go through all the like sex archives to find.
Like, whose job is that?
But like, I feel like it's not a fun job. Like, I feel like it's like, wouldn't you like have it automated and then you'd only get like the weird, unexciting ones?
Probably.
See, I think it would be kind of like. Do you guys remember that movie Holes from like the 90s?
Yeah, that was an awesome movie.
Where everybody dreams of digging a hole that's like 5 feet by 5 feet until you actually spend an entire day doing it and then you just hate it.
That's not the point of Holes, is it?
That's totally the point of Holes.
I have not seen Holes in too long. I don't know. Maybe
I've read
maybe it's
the
the right
book.
time.
Aren't they like all like younger bad boys, and this is their like punishment? Is they?
It's not a fun job. Like, I feel like.
Sorry, that's
like...
us.
I thought it was more of like a juvenile delinquent camp. But
Yeah.
I was wrong.
And that was their punishment. They
We all
had to
took
dig holes.
different things away from that book.
Yeah, like I know it was their punishment. Did people actually want to dig holes in holes?
Well, that's like
Well, they
every
didn't
kid's
want to.
dream,
Sigourney
right?
Weaver was in holes, right?
Was she? I just remember that you're not
the-
supposed to get bitten by the lizards because they're
Who's the
poisonous.
older
Yeah.
woman who runs the camp?
I don't know.
This is not what this episode was supposed to be about. Thank you for your patience.
This is all about holes.
Well, when you start on Disney porn,
You know you're going to end on holes.
The
where
way
you
to
end up.
go is a direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, our girl Sigourney Weaver was the warden.
Oh, she
Yeah.
was the big one.
I
Yeah.
knew it was Sigourney. I was almost named after Sigourney Weaver. Although my mother was like, I'm never going to spell that.
Sigourney?
No one.
Imagine me as Sigourney.
I can imagine. I can see it. I can see it.
Yeah? It's like
Yeah, I can see it.
Is that a life you want for me, Michael?
Pardon me?
Is that the life you want for me?
Well, I mean, I want the best life for you.
No, it's the one
So.
you deserve. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, if I have to be some like older woman in like Hollywood, like Sigourney Weaver's not bad.
No,
I'll
she's
take
pretty
that.
badass.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Nope.
Yeah.
Anyways, now that I know I was right, we can start the actual why we are here.
Why are we here?
Why are we here? Thank you guys for coming. Hopefully you're excited by this very cool chat in the middle of the screen so we can all hang out and talk to each other. And then people watching later will be able to be like, wow, that person's really insightful and so smart. And I wish I was there too. But today we are going over our plans for season 2. So we thought we'd start off with kind of going over kind of episode by episode what's kind of gone on in the terrible lives of our dear, frail, problem-y friends.
Oh, fuck.
Ouch.
I can say more, like, concerned words.
We've only just started.
Are you sweaty?
I didn't think we were that bad off.
Well, you didn't start that bad. No, actually, you know what? You're in better shape than you were when you started.
I am not.
I don't know. You're not a slave anymore.
Well, no silver lining.
But now you're a slave to your emotions.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Really
I
true.
didn't sign up for that.
So, start with overall kind of what we've been up to, and then maybe go in character by character, what we've seen as the characters have grown and changed, and what we maybe see for them. If you guys have any questions or comments, please talk to us. We're just being awkward nerds today. This is like a sort of Q&A, but also planning. And if you're like, you need to name an NPC after my dorky friend, then like, you let me know that name. I got you. I got you.
We don't get any more Benjamin Whittakers.
No more Benjamin Whittakers. You just had to
Come
ask
on.
who is the dumbest NPC that I could find. So, thanks to that, I now have this lovely list that I keep on hand of all of the NPC names I can use that don't sound like garbage.
Ben does not sound like garbage, though.
Ben's okay, but I just like made up Whittaker or Williger or whatever off the top of my head. I'm sorry if anybody's last name is that. I don't mean to insult you. But everybody else's names were very thoughtfully spoken and planned. And then we've never like, you guys have never even heard Cade's full name.
What are you talking about? His first
What
name is
is it?
Mister.
It's Mr. Cade.
Mr.
Yeah.
Cade Caraquette.
Mr.
What else is
Cade
there?
Caraquette.
See, there's 3 out of 4.
Cade's full name is Cade Marquis Celeste Caraquette.
God, they're
Oh,
fucking fancy, aren't
They
they?
are.
those are really fancy.
I mean, if you're gonna be, like, royal in this world, you need 4 names.
You gotta
Yeah.
be pretentious about it.
Like,
You're gonna be real pretentious.
Michael decided that all of the royal people had 4 names, and we went with
Yeah.
it.
To be fair, that is your fault, Michael.
That is my fault. I take full
You were the
responsibility
one.
for that.
This one is one of my favorite character names. It's Tiff's full name. It's Tefania Portnoy Jezebel Planchet.
Yeah, it is. I
It
take full
really
responsibility
speaks-
of that one.
It really speaks to her love of music and also the fact that she likes having a good time.
So you forgot down for anything in the middle.
That's
Yeah,
right.
DTF.
DTF.
CTP, down to party. That's what Jezebel is short for.
It really is.
Can be substituted with DTF.
Also fine with that. Also fine. So, when we started this story, and you guys were beginning this horrible experiment, you had a mission from Atlas to find a glass key, and you had to kill somebody to get it and bring it
Oh, jeez.
back, and then it got destroyed in front of you, and then you got a new one made.
Oh, jeez.
Man, that was. Do we have a lot of lag? Is that anything we can control?
A lot of lag.
I don't know.
Or it might be them and not us. What's Atlas's middle names?
Atlas's middle names. Let me pull him out of my
Just-
season 1 list.
While we're on the topic.
He is Emperor Atlas Laughlin Thales Caraquette.
Noise.
Fails Caraquette?
Thales Caraquette.
Oh.
I was gonna say fails. Caracat. A little on the nose, don't you think?
Penelope's full name is Penelope Genevieve Justinia. As,
Oh.
like justice.
These people, this whole family.
Honestly.
It's almost like if you have that many names, like you're gonna be something special. I say, being someone with 4 names.
You have 4 names.
You have 4 names?
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah.
What are your 4 names? Wait, are we allowed to know this?
Is this a breach of privacy?
Is this it? My middle name is Amber, and my last name is hyphenated.
Oh
That's
yeah.
So I got 4.
Okay.
I got 4.
Okay.
4
Okay,
names.
that's fair.
Just the hero you
But
all
it's
needed.
2 last names, 1 middle name, 1 first name.
That's
That's
still
true.
4 names.
Yeah.
Still
yeah.
4.
I was like, you don't have 2 middle names. I was right though.
I mean,
Rafe
my
says,
best friend doesn't have any middle names, so he just has 2 names.
Rafe in the chat has 4 names as well, but the third is never spoken in public.
Oh.
I
Is
feel
it
like-
dry ass?
Dry ass!
Rude.
I
This
know.
is the worst thing about being a GM, is like you make all this cool shit, and then people just
Tear it apart.
just tear it apart.
Sorry, that was a joke from last week. Not my joke.
Well,
I like Arsen's name.
I just want to say, Nabbers has escalated this by having 5 names. 2 middle
Whoa.
names and 2 last
Oh.
names.
Dang.
That makes you like ruler of the world.
That's pretty big deal.
That is a pretty big deal.
Like
yeah.
if you were in this world,
You
or you'd be like a god.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like officially.
We're coming for you next.
Coming for your next Navas.
But then you have the struggle of not being able to write your full name on anything.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you guys went to get this glass key. You cut down some innocent rebels, including one that you later met, and I'm not gonna say became friends with because he does not like you.
Became lovers.
Just maybe not the best friends that you've ever had. But that was the first time you met the unseen, and when Everett got his tendon slit by Ryan/Verity.
good times.
Good times.
The first bloodshed of the game.
It was only meant to immobilize.
Forever.
Is that forever immobile? Is it?
It's
I don't know.
I'm
can
a
you
rogue.
Am I gonna kill you?
I'm not a cleric. Listen, I don't-
Are the rebels really innocent? I mean, I don't know. Like, the crown definitely isn't innocent either. No one's innocent.
no one.
Oh, and then we also got, like, good point, happily ended, like, we had Brian Skull, our good
Yep.
friend, before we learned to hate ourselves a little bit.
Just a little bit.
It didn't take very long, but
It's an ongoing theme.
yeah, self-hatred.
Very sad. When you, like,
so hot.
you got that guy's head, you melted off his skin, and then you were like, this is gonna be my new friend Brian. And then Everett
Wait.
talked to you later and was like, that was my actual friend.
Like, and now he's my actual friend.
Greg. His name Greg?
Skeleton
It was Greg. Yeah.
Didn't you use the bucket of acid as like as like a trap atop your door?
Yep.
You definitely did
Sure
not throw
did.
away the skin acid right away.
No, I think I still have it in my inventory too.
Skin
It's probably
acid.
not very good anymore though.
No, I wouldn't say it's great.
No.
Gross, dude.
It's still in my inventory.
It's perfectly good. Yeah, it's fine.
Lord help us.
We got yeah. Yeah, it's in my inventory under. Let's see here.
Acids and related buckets.
Bucket of melty skin acid.
Yep.
I'm not
There's no way
carrying.
you're still carrying that.
It's in my inventory right there.
no way
It's in
you
the
took
bag
that
of
with you.
holding.
It's in the bag of holding.
Okay, vote from people in the chat. Would you allow someone to put a bag of skin acid in a bag of holding, knowing it might leak?
It's a bucket of
I'm
melty skin
sorry.
acid.
It's a bucket. It doesn't have a lid.
If
Now-
anything, Ellie would have taken it, pretended to put it in, and then dumped it somewhere else.
There you go.
That's probably
Just
fair.
put it in a
yeah.
There's
bucket
just
of,
a
like-
giant smoking hole in the ground.
It's
just
still
like-
going to this day.
Now
Why
it's
does
just
it
a bucket
smell
of-
like barbecue?
Now it's just a bucket of water with some jam in it.
Yeah, just
Oh, you know, and she probably would have reused it.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Oh yeah, if you put it in the bag of holding, what if it like acids a hole to a new dimension?
Oh.
I don't think it works like that.
What if it did though?
No, I don't like it.
No, please.
I don't
No, please. No, please.
Oh,
I
Yeah,
saw
I'm just
the-
going over my inventory, and I've got some pretty fun things.
best thing on TikTok. And all you need now, Ariana, is for a whole bunch of skeletons in the bag of holding. And
Yeah,
then the
endless
next time
skeletons.
we're flying, dump them animate them, and then play It's Raining Men.
Yep.
Ooh.
I know,
Ooh.
right?
I could do that.
It's a lot of work, though.
I think it's worth it, though.
It's totally worth it.
Also,
sounds-
Ariana's part druid now. You can't just disrespect the dead, maybe.
Well, it's all about perspective.
It's just recycling. It's
Exactly.
Yeah,
Reduce, reuse, reanimate.
we're returning the we're returning the bodies to their home soil. We just happen to be high up in the air when we're doing so.
So, back to the game that we played.
Yeah.
One of these glass keys got destroyed. Did you guys ever figure out what the glass key was actually for?
His sexy chamber.
They were
wouldn't-
skeleton keys that opened all the doors.
Well, the glass key specifically.
I don't
No,
know.
I honestly forgot about it.
Because we gave it to the. Well, I gave it to the.
Yeah.
the
Yeah, you
rebels.
fucking did. Yeah.
Without telling anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, you fucking did.
Also a map.
What?
You also
Elly chose
stole-
sides really early.
You
So,
really
like, where was
did.
that key for then?
Listen, someone had to get things moving.
So the glass key originally, the thought was that Carmen, who is a craftsperson, had managed to get a copy of the key and had forged a glass one that basically could be broken anytime in case someone got caught with it. And it opened the door to Mr. Cade's secret room in the basement with all of the loot that is
Ah.
also people.
But
We were in there.
we ended up down there
We were in
anyway.
there.
Yeah.
We didn't need it.
You just
Basically.
snuck in with Mr. Cade, which was
That's
much,
where you stole the
much-
pants full of keys.
And those are regular keys. Like, those are regular skeleton keys.
Yeah.
But the glass key was a special key.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, it all worked out in the end. It did work.
You know,
Everyone got
figured it
unlocked.
out. Like, you guys, it took you
Yeah.
a long time to find out that people were being turned into magical items, but you figured it out.
Yeah.
Hey, it was only like mid-campaign when we finally figured that out.
Yeah.
So
Who's gonna jump to that conclusion? But how is that a logical? What?
maybe we're not the right type of logical people to be handling such a task.
You were giving us way too much credit.
Ooh. The chat seems to think
Yep.
Carmen's the real hero, and I want to know what Elly thinks about that.
Oh.
Yeah, you know what? I think she's an awesome character, and I think that although she and Elly had some headbutting problems, Elly is glad she saved her in the end and didn't let her die in the castle.
You say while biting your lip, like, next time, though.
Next time,
No,
though.
Next
she
time, though.
left you to die out in the. It's fine. I'm over that. I'm over that.
It was fine. And then pretty much immediately after that, Ryan stumbled upon Atlas and Raph together and
Yeah.
found out that she was a beard.
Yep.
A really cute beard, though.
Thank
Really
you.
cute beard. Like a trimmed
Thank you.
beard.
Yeah.
Raph also
Yeah.
has a beard, but he's not a beard.
He's not a beard.
No.
No. Yeah, that was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It was.
And about that same time, Penny at the time started getting close to Mr. Cade and got a nice spell book, and he was all interested in her schooling and stuff.
Yep.
Like a super nice guy.
You know, just a super nice guy.
Like
Man,
normal.
Penny
Yeah.
has a thing for like falling for like magical older dudes who like
It's not falling, it's
power.
being what's the
Falling
proper
for their tricks.
Intellectually obsessed.
That's better. Yes.
I feel like the way to get like Penny to say anything is just to be like, "Wow, you're really smart." And Penny just be like, "Yeah, want to know
Yeah.
everything?" And also,
wanna know
can I kill
everything?
someone for you.
Yeah, that's essentially it.
Oh yeah.
Good
Yeah,
times.
we-
Good times.
We didn't know Nicholas yet, although obviously part of our Penny's backstory involved Nicholas. So
Yeah.
not looking for love, looking for sugar daddy wizards.
Yep. Give me them knowledge.
I mean, he just happened to turn out to be incredibly hot, but that's just.
It's also just really easy to manipulate you into thinking someone's hot, Laura. All I have to do is
Is
like,
that
have him,
it?
all I have to do is have
Oh.
him be like kind of dark and mysterious, and have him kiss your hands,
Yeah.
and you're done.
I'm a bit of a type, and maybe I'm just a bit of a slut, but that's besides the point. Totally besides the point.
Yeah, then we had one of people's all-time favorite episodes, the Apology Sandwich. Real strong early episode.
Oh god, I can't remember the last time I laughed so hard. Some of my very favorite Elly moments were just killed me.
How do you
know,
know?
like,
You shove a sandwich under the door, and then you go back for it hours later because you're hungry
and drunk.
and drunk.
It's very in character. I think that was one of the moments I loved playing Arsen the most, is him just being like, let me get this straight. You want to apologize for being absolutely useless, so you put a sandwich that you got for free from my house under my door, making a big mess, and then you came back and asked for it back because you're hungry.
Yes.
That's exactly it.
That's
Actually transpired was Elly on the floor going, sandwich? Sandwich?
Look, you're not gonna eat it.
Yeah, that's true. Arsen was not gonna eat it.
No, I'll
That's
leave the
just a
apology. I'll take the sandwich.
We all know the real apology was the gesture the whole time.
There we go.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. And you guys started to plan a birthday party for Penny that thankfully never happened, because that would have been the most horrifying.
That would have been
event.
fantastic. I'm slightly disappointed that never actually got off the
I
ground.
know, right?
It was a good idea.
That was the plan where you guys were gonna like invite like her family and stuff, and it's gonna be this
Who
whole.
I
big
still was not
thing.
on speaking terms with at that time.
We talked about inviting her like old professor too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh man. The things that were.
I mean, there's
Yeah,
no
so did we miss Penny's birthday then through all of this chaos?
Yeah,
Yeah, although Penny has 2 birthdays now.
that's true. That's true.
Ariana has 2 birthdays, rather.
Well, Ariana only has one birthday.
Ooh, I guess like you're like only like a couple weeks old.
Yeah. I'm kind of like the Vision in that sense, I guess.
Yeah, a new birthday.
Yeah, better
Yeah.
birthday.
A better birthday.
A super birthday.
Super birthday.
Like you need like a special cake with like Jello and like a little mold, and
Yeah.
you have like a little pool in it.
I only want like spaghetti-o jello though.
SpaghettiOs or partly human bodies.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Like gelatinous cube.
Yeah,
Ooh,
except
Jell-O.
it's less acidic and more delicious.
Yeah.
Speaking of
yeah.
delicious things, Moonsea has a great point. Elly, you have frozen crumpets. You have extra jam. Are you going to make ice cream sandwiches?
Listen, do you think she's actually that smart to come up with a concept like that?
Got a
Like
point.
looks at 2 biscuits, looks at the jam, like looks at it, holds it out so the biscuits are on the side of the jam container, and then just eats all 3 individually.
She's like, I only know one way to do this. One way.
Is that like the soundtrack from like 2001: A Space Odyssey? And it's like it's closer and closer. And it's like
Then we jump straight into darkness with the Dark Gift, which is the episode where Penny got that dark orb from Mr. Cade.
which I still have.
Episode
Oh, wait, no.
5.
That was what?
Episode 5, you got that dark
Yeah.
orb.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I still have Black Orb of Magic in my inventory, but I guess I should actually erase that.
You should probably put like crushed orb. Like you can have the pieces if you want.
No, I'm pretty sure they're gone.
I left them behind along with my
I left them
sanity.
behind.
That was also the first episode where Ryan spent the night with Arsen.
Damn, chico.
That was there's more pretext to that. That's because she was supposed to be banging Atlas and couldn't because
He didn't want
Raph.
to.
that was the way around the Empress's questioning.
That's true. That was your solution, is if the Empress keeps asking, have you slept with my son? And you sleep with her other son.
I can say yes.
That's money in the bank.
That's money in
Not
the bank.
lying.
Technically not a lie. Against the spirit of truth, but not
Yeah.
a lie.
It's like,
Yep.
well, you got me there.
Well,
I mean, I would say probably both princes are pretty hot. I think it's like your type, right? Like Atlas is like the golden boy, blonde hair, muscular, and Arsen's more like the scoundrel, like the Flynn Rider kind of guy, you know? They got their own things going, you know? There's team both of them is my point. Yes, Arsen definitely thinks he is the hotter brother. He's also the cooler brother, the smarter brother.
the angrier brother.
The Falcon.
The Falcon.
The Falcon.
The fuck is Falcon?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
But Atlas has his not fiance, but like man he's been in love with for the last 10 years.
Like 10 years down.
So not fucking around.
Yep. Did him a big favor. Big fucking favor. She could have just sold him out. Should have just sold him out. I say that. I don't know. There's two different opinions. Laura's opinion and Ryan's opinion.
Yes, that's true. That's true. We will get to that. Sky is pointing out that I did name the characters Atlas and Arsen, which may be a subtle reference to Persona. Maybe. Arsen's technically spelled different though. It's Arsen. So I'm gonna claim a not connection there. And Atlas is also because he has the weight of the world on his shoulder. So you're right.
Oh.
You're right.
Weight of his giant head. I think it's just the weight of his giant head on his shoulders.
Yeah. And being a giant walking penis.
Yep.
We're not fans of Atlas.
That was also the episode where Elly began to kind of officially join the rebellion. Like they asked full on are you loyal? And you were like, yeah, I could help.
Yeah, let's do this.
I don't know what I'm doing. Let's go, dude.
Yeah, that's when you became the official political leader of the group.
Yeah.
The biggest mistake I've ever made in my D&D career.
At least many steps to leadership, all of which you're like, I didn't know how this happened.
What do you mean? I'm in charge?
What do you mean?
Well, who decided this? It wasn't me.
Who did that?
Well, see, here's the thing: is there's two types of parties. The parties where somebody is like, I am the party leader, and the parties where somebody gets elected. And this is maybe elected. I don't even know if you were elected or if it just happened.
No one wanted the job. Like, Elly, you were the one.
Sign here. What am I signing for? Just sign it.
Like everybody
So I've
was
already
like-
signed it, but I'd like to know now if that's
everybody was
okay.
like, who's gonna be party leader? And they all were like,
Oh, fuck!
Then of course you stole a map from your dear friend Penny, and gave it away to rebels who were going to use it to break in. Yeah,
You didn't need the map. It's fine.
it's fine. It's fine. That episode was a lot about lying. Actually, looking back on it, like you stole the map. Penny was having this whole thing about being prejudiced about other races and stuff, and rich and poor, and then Ryan was talking about lying about her past to Arsen.
Yeah, nothing but lies.
Just
Yeah.
full of lies.
Yeah.
You guys were lie guys in that episode.
Yeah.
Lying liars who lie.
Yeah.
Dirty,
It-
dirty.
It sounds really bad when you put things in this order, like when you listen to them one after another. I was like, oh shit, we're not the good guys. We're what are we?
We did some bad shit, dude.
We did
Oh,
some
yeah.
bad shit.
Yeah,
That's
this is
why I put
reflection is
Penny's-
important.
Yeah, why I put Penny's backstory as being so bad, because I only have up to go, even though it's like a step up.
Like if you
it's
start at the bottom.
Yeah. I came with mass murder.
If you start in the catacombs, you get to go up to the gravesite.
It's true.
Oh.
We had a super gross scene, I think the episode after that, where Penny and Mr. Cade had a conversation about how he justified the murder of Elly's people, and how, they wanted to be ruled, and in kind of that conquer white person's burden that was super disgusting.
Yeah.
Didn't it? Wasn't it like they gave up, or they waved the white flag?
Yeah, one of them was definitely that they wanted to be ruled. Like they knew they were, you know, barbarians, and that, like, you know, we would bring them all this beautiful things. And I'm pretty sure the entire scene, like if you go back and watch that, which is episode 7, you can see just like Sarah is just fuming on her side of the TV, just like like the whole time is just livid.
I think Penny was just like, "Yep, sounds good to me."
Sounds accurate. That's what I learned when I grew up.
Yep.
That's what Mom said.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, it was pretty painful. Pretty painful to play, pretty painful to watch. But you know what? These things happen. These things happen, right?
That was good torture.
And then we found out the truth about Ryan as well, that Ryan was actually the Princess of Lunaris, and that her aunt had brutally cut off her wings and turned her into, I don't know, I mean, in your society, in like this Asmar society we've made, that means you can't rule anymore, like you can't go home.
Well, you're not an Asmar. That doesn't...
Yeah, you're just a wing.
Like what you... Yeah. I mean, like, what you lose, like, with your wings is, like, the ability to dream or hear from the gods. Not only that you can't fly, but that's also, like, I'm gonna call it, like, a tactical thing. But, I mean, it's also, like a fighting thing, too. Like, you can't fight and defend if you're not... Yeah, so... But, I mean, but to be fair, like, I'm not saying it was a good reason or that it justifies, but there was a reason why. Like,
yes,
shouldn't just do it out of nowhere. But
we found out that Verity watched her brother die in front of her after some... No, this is before. And then some sketchy noble tried to force her to do things she didn't want to do. So she may have killed him. To which Arsen is just like, yeah, obviously. I don't see what's wrong here.
No, that's not okay. You can't just kill people.
Did you say no?
Like, are you sure?
Yeah, I said no. Okay, well then you're justified to kill him.
I'm pretty sure you still can't just kill people.
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
Like Arsen and Elly are just mimicking the same look. Like,
sounds fair to me.
So that basically your aunt had done all this to you and then convinced you that it was the right thing to do and it was a noble decision, and that you had to go and basically serve out your time until you were pure again.
Repent.
Shame.
Shake that shame, dongle.
Yeah.
Yep. To quote the chat, yikes on trikes.
Yikes on trikes.
Yikes on yikes on multiple bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. Yeah. No.
Rock, paper, scissors, consent beats murder. Better.
Does it though? Does it? I'm pretty sure that you still can't murder somebody.
Yeah, last I checked.
For touching you, I'm pretty sure you can't do that.
What is that? Is that euthanasia? I don't think you can do that.
Yeah, I still don't. Or like, what's the rule? Like, the amount of force is equal. You can use the same amount of force is being applied to you, right? Like, so like if someone breaks into your house, you're not allowed to just shoot them in the face, right? Because like,
depends on where you're from.
That's also true. But we're in Lunaris, and you're not supposed to shoot people in the face if they break into your house.
Well, you can't, because there's no such thing as guns.
Also that.
Nabbers
it's a
is
metaphor,
correct.
Michael. It's a metaphor.
Everything is legal if you don't get caught. But Verity definitely got caught.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the suspicion is that was part of the point.
Oh, you think? You think maybe that was just a ploy to get you out of power?
Laura thinks that. Verity doesn't.
Verity's still convinced she.
Verity's like, I done wrong. I done so wrong. I'm so sorry. Which is why she's more than happy to like, right, it sounds silly, but like she's more than happy. She's like, I'll be a slave. Sure, I'll go dance. I'll be a consort. Absolutely. Sure. Like this is like, she wants to get. That's the road back to redemption. That's
you made that sound like spring break for a second.
No, I know.
Speaking of horrible repercussions to your actions, the next episode was the one where there was a fire at the docks, and you guys went in to try to save Lien's people, while also trying not to get caught by Atlas's other mercenary group who had started the fire.
Yeah.
That was good times.
Good times, right? There was that really, really mean sorceress who really liked making fun of Penny.
I was gonna say, Penny doesn't think she's mean. Penny just thinks
the little one?
The little
yeah.
Oh, you have to study?
Her name's Tifa. I liked her because I like the, like, usually there's that thing about wizards being the highest, like, level of, like, aspiration, but I like that, like, the sorceress just being like, oh, you're so simple, you couldn't figure it out on your own? Like, did you have to go to YouTube to find out how to cast spells?
No, I went to university.
Sure.
I was
sure.
homeschooled.
You guys also murdered one of them.
Was that during that session? I feel like we murdered them later on.
That was that one.
Yeah.
She was coming around the building, and we were at the back exploding it, trying to get people out.
No, okay.
One thing led to another.
I think that was
One thing
Penny's
led to
ridiculous decision to you teleported into a window and blew shit up with ice knives.
That
Sure
fucking
did.
ice knife.
While we were standing there.
God, I hate that spell.
It's a good spell.
I have taken more damage from ice knife than any of the enemies in this game.
It's good times.
Good time, great time.
It's got a good
I think
area
back
effect.
fondly to that moment. No.
So yeah, you guys actually did a pretty good job, like, pretending you were not, working for Lien while saving all the kids.
We're
So
so
that
good.
was cool. This is still when I thought that, like, Lien might be, like, a love interest for Elly, before I realized what I'd done with Ben.
You put a stupid hot guy in front of me.
They're both stupid and hot.
That one. That's the one. That's
That's
the
the
one.
one.
Lien also has a snake familiar. A snake! They're really
that's pretty dope.
cool.
Listen, it's just not what she's into. No, I'm just kidding.
Apparently not.
He's
You
not
need
dumb
to
enough. He
offer-
wasn't
you
dumb enough.
needed-
Wasn't
You needed to offer them jam,
Yeah.
clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he doesn't want to eat as much as I do, I don't want it. He's not down to go for midnight medieval Taco Bell. I don't want it.
Whoa.
That's legitimate. That's
And
that's
then
real
I
fair.
think we got to the point when perception about Atlas and whether Atlas was good or evil really shifted, with Ryan deciding to warn all her allies in the royal family about the assassination attempt, and then getting herself thrown into prison. And
Was that the same? Was that all in the same episode?
this was the episode after the fire.
We're skipping over crucial stuff. We're skipping over
course.
really crucial stuff.
Of course.
Where like Atlas, so like at the end of like the jam episode, where like Elly and Atlas and Ryan were dancing and drinking, and Atlas kind of expressed like he was trying to let loose a little bit. He kind of said that he was upset that, oh, you were drinking with my brother and not me. My brother never asked me to drink. And then that lulled me into a false sense of security, thinking he was cool when he wasn't. Or that he would appreciate all that Ryan had did for him, and he fucking didn't.
So
Yeah,
there was this recurring issue in early game where when you guys talked about Atlas, you would talk about how, like, he's against slavery, he's gonna do this, he believes in this, and all you had to go on was the fact that you liked drinking with him.
No.
You never asked him what he thought. There's the one episode where Elly was like, "Can I have a pension? Like, can I have money?" And he was just like, "No, you're a
He's like,
slave. You
"No."
don't get paid." That was just
I
dry
thought he was-
talk.
I thought he was joking.
He thought you were joking.
Oh jeez. Oh
Ooh,
jeez.
we've got a
I
heart.
think we must have.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I think we must have taken something from like, or I certainly took something from like him being more progressive than his parents and his relationship with, being in love with his boyfriend and wanting to change the world so that it would be better. And I think that's what I mean, you're right. Like I didn't ask. I suppose I made a whole fucking ton of assumptions, but well,
But that was the point. The point was to sort of make you guys not realize. And he's not as bad as his parents. Like he doesn't have the same, expansionist goal as his mother, and he does feel bad about what happened. He's sort of a, well, if we already have it, shouldn't we use it kind of guy, which isn't great. But
I mean, he looked at Ryan's collar once and looked kind of uncomfortable with it. I think that's when Penelope was like shocking her with it, like summoning her.
Yeah.
So I suppose maybe like there were things that led me to the conclusion that Atlas would be on our side. Like I didn't just jump to that, but I suppose it definitely wasn't as straightforward as I thought it was in my head. Like I didn't see that betrayal fucking coming.
Listen, this is why we have trust issues.
I mean,
this is why we have trust issues.
Atlas is the kind of guy who's like, oh, like I have friends who are slaves. It's fine. Like he'd fight for you guys' rights, but he doesn't know everybody. That's right. That's what I said. It's gross.
Except he didn't.
Well, if he had to. I mean, he still didn't hurt you.
He let other people.
Okay, but Penelope's terrifying and she scares literally everybody. Can you imagine that woman raising you? Can you imagine that?
Yeah. No, okay. It's not that I don't get it. I'd be like, Mom, can you please not whip my slaves anymore, please? Could you, maybe not do that?
And then she's like, oh, what do you want to do, marry your slaves? And he's like, I don't know, maybe. But I mean, Raph's not high class. Like, Raph is a lower class guy. So he's not totally... It's more that he hasn't questioned it. And this is the thing I think we saw in Penny a lot early on, too, is just, this assumption that because it's how it is, it's meant to be that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to grow up a bit. Get out from under Mummy's shadow.
And what a better way to do that than by removing the shadow entirely.
Yeah, no more shadow.
And the spine.
Mm-hmm.
Now you are the sun.
In the chat, we got a really strong opening idea for season 2. Season 2, we see a foreground mountain and Elly in the distance, and we pan in close, and she just turns and says, say it, Elly.
That's my jam. Oh. Sorry,
I got goosebumps.
Yeah, sorry, I'm saying my
goosebumps.
Sorry, that's my jam. Nope, that's not it. That's not the right accent.
That's
not it.
You need to lead up to it. You need to say a couple sentences and then get into it.
That's fine.
Yeah,
jam.
warm up your Elly voice.
What's my accent again?
My accent? Who am I?
What are we playing again?
What are we playing?
What did we agree to do? So, anyways, so the moral of the story is Ryan was like, we gotta warn Atlas is the big one, that the rebels are coming, and to get out of there with his boyfriend so they don't get in trouble. Also, to be fair, Leanne was pretty clear that, I don't like this Atlas character, and, if I have the chance, I will kill everyone. So,
yeah.
Anyway, so Ryan ended up locked up, and Arsen was pretty pissed at both of them for different reasons. Just you told my brother what? You told Stick in the Mud Atlas what?
Let's stick in the mud.
I'm sorry. I thought he was cool. I don't know.
I thought he was cool.
How many people fell into that trap?
Oh my gosh.
Not just me.
And we also had, this is when we found out why Penny was expelled from the Golden Academy.
Mm-hmm.
For the murder.
For the murder.
For the murder.
Oh, jeez.
It's fine. It's fine. That was also an ice knife, for the record.
That was a nice knife.
Just one though, right?
That's all you need.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, as long as it explodes at the end, I mean, it's all damage.
From there, shit really went downhill. Atlas and Arsen had a fist fight in a yard, which was embarrassing to literally everyone involved. I believe Elly is the one who went in and like broke that up.
Yeah, because there's just a couple of stupid idiots.
You and me are gonna go fight in a field. And just in case you guys didn't realize, the person who would have won that fight was Atlas, because there were no weapons involved, and yeah, he's strong. So, are
Like,
you
what
what
dice.
you saved?
What level strong is he? Just for my own curiousness.
I guess we need to kill him later?
As soon as you put a level on someone, they become killable. So I refuse to tell you right now.
True.
It will be approximately the same level higher than you, no matter what level you get.
No.
Has anyone read Order of the Stick? There's a really good, so it's a comic series, but about D&D. But there's one character where Haley has a rebel, not rebel, sorry, like the person you hate. They are your nemesis. And her nemesis is just sitting there playing cards like, oh, sweet, got another level, because she always has to be at the same level so that they can dramatically interact.
Right.
That's what you need to do. You need to find yourself a good party, make an enemy, and then just ride that wave forever. Forever and ever and ever.
Well, isn't that what Mr. Smith did, or Agent Smith in The Matrix?
Fuck, I haven't watched The Matrix in like years.
Yeah, he was supposed to die, but he's just like, no, he's my nemesis now, and I'm going to be just as powerful as he is. So The Matrix was just like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, okay.
And then he came back with a vengeance.
He's gonna be my frenemy.
He's my friend.
I've caught in the
Elly just spends all day in the forest killing boars, trying to level up.
Yeah.
XP, XP, XP.
Yeah, XP farming.
And then when you guys actually managed to escape, you planned out this whole thing, you stole some keys, you got the people you liked mostly out of the castle, and you were on the run, and Mr. Cade took over one of our dear friends' bodies.
Yep, I think that's when
Weiss,
that's
who
when-
was one of the captains of the guard, and one of Ellie's original backstory characters.
Oh, there you go.
Long-suffering Weiss, who got taken over by Cade, and then Ben did the thing that Ben did,
My boy Ben!
which is
The boy Ben!
which is kill Weiss, his commander and dear friend. And this is the beginning of Ben no longer the sweet innocent, but the damaged boy.
He broke him.
My boy.
To be fair, his love of Elly broke him. And you know what,
Yeah.
Ryan, it's your fault, because he was guarding your room, and you told him, like, Elly cares about you, she wants you to
didn't I?
come, she wants you to be with her.
I didn't say that. I said Elly cares about you. Like, this is important. I did not go back and watch that.
You did only say technically that she cared about him, but you definitely framed it in such a way that, like, she wants
yes.
you.
That's what I do. I take the words and I put a bow on them and I represent them. That's what I'm good at.
So really,
I don't lie.
really,
I
Ben's
just take the
whole
truth.
like decline happened because of Ryan.
Don't try and turn us against each other.
Disaster matchmaker. But you guys did manage to escape. Good for you.
Yes.
You did it.
We did it, guys!
Didn't Ben stab me as well? I'm trying to count how many people I've been stabbed
Okay,
by.
to be fair,
I think Ben did.
You're very lippy. And
Stabbable?
sometimes I just have NPCs stab you to make you behave.
Just your friendly.
Very lippy.
Well.
You're always like, but listen, and they're like, stop it! Stop it!
Stop!
Stop it!
Ow! Ow!
Stop!
That hurt! I'm still gonna keep talking.
And you do. But from there, you ran into hiding. Our summary says, facing your own fears and feelings of insecurity, which seems to be what that was right about then. it was just a mess when you guys first went out, and then you guys had this great opportunity where you were going to prove that you were heroes by saving this young girl's life.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Man, we tried.
Yeah. You were gonna go save her. You talked to her parents, and they said that she'd gone missing picking flowers, or herbs rather. She's not like, you know, totally a fairy tale character. And she had been taken by 2 witches, and they were taking her essence and using it to make magical items. And in trying to save her, the orb that Penny had been carrying at the time sucked the soul in. And yeah, so, and then Ariana, or Penny at the time, got 8 extra charges of this spell, which if you look back, 8 is the number of hit points that an average commoner has, which is how I came up with that. So
Yep.
We fucked that hard.
Yeah. It was hard. There was some crying in that episode.
No, I didn't cry to the next one. Sorry, not me.
It wasn't me.
Wasn't me. Not that one. I didn't cry to the next one.
Someone crying in the episode? Wasn't me.
Wasn't me. But I saw you on the camera. Wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
Caught you crying on the Twitch stream. Wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
But that was an intense moment of like realizing that like it's not, even when you're outside of the castle, it's not so easy to be the good guys. You did end up giving him some money and taking a tiara that he had, that the father gave to you. And somewhere in there, you decided that you were going to go to Lunaris, that you were going to go try to find out what happened with Ryan's aunt, that you were going to go see if you could
bring in an army.
Get an army to, you know, face Penelope.
We promised Leanne an army when we left.
Yeah.
They're like, don't worry about it. We got this. We can get an army. Like, no problem.
Don't worry about it. I've seen armies.
I didn't tell him that. It's like, no, don't worry. Like, I know people with armies.
After you guys had to deal with that super sad scene of that girl dying, I did give you a sweet moment in a field of Pegasi.
I like that because they all ran away from me.
Goose.
That was when we went goose. Good old goose. And the Pegasi did indeed, not that point because I don't think you were there that episode, but like the Pegasi did not like the orb. But we're never actually that clear about it being the orb's fault. So Ariana was just kind of like, why does everyone hate me? But why? Long, awkward.
What does that sound?
Sadness. What sound?
What was that sound?
Yeah, like there's like a grinding, like.
Is it my teeth?
No, it was loud.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sounded like somebody was like doing this to the microphone.
I didn't hear it at all.
Yeah. Oh.
What?
There it is.
There it is.
I don't know. Is it me? Am I doing it?
No. I wonder, like, is Elly's cat in there somewhere? Like,
that's what I was kind of wondering. I was wondering. It almost sounds like it was like choking on a hairball or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that would make sense for why she takes a step away.
Yeah.
Awkward.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys got to hang out with some Pegasi. Ryan just sat down and like sat and talked for like a good chunk of time, just being like, "Life's hard, Pegasi," and they were like,
listen, guys, what's happened to me?
There was also one of the Pegasi was wearing puka shells.
That was yours, Zach.
That was Zach. Yeah, that was
Zach.
That was one of Michael's lovely characters, just like Ben's
Yep.
hype boy.
Yep.
And then we finally got to meet Aunt Andrea, who I think we can all agree is a horrible monster and deserves to die, except for Verity, who somehow thinks she's not the villain.
It's her only family.
You also got to meet the Thorns, who were her fighting force, because she's all about roses. So, and you got to meet Nicholas, finally.
Joy.
This was the part where I was just like, I introduced him in the episode, and I was like, his name's Nicholas Falconer, and he's you know, he casts magic, and he's this like dark wizard, and like Penny, like, Michael's just like, hmm.
Well, I didn't want to give anything away.
And it was like, oh, Nicholas. Evil Nicholas. But that's okay, because Verity thinks he's cute.
But you're like, everybody's got tattoos, and I'm like, I'm
Neck tattoos.
I know, and they move? What do you expect? What do you expect me to do?
They only move when you're not looking directly at them. Come on.
Listen, if you post a thirst trap,
Ryan's
gonna answer.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's true. Sometimes I underestimate my ability to make men that make Verity thirsty.
Only human. It's an only human.
And then
Well,
I
that's
think
why we're called the
like,
Thirsty
you're
Girls.
like, should I get rid of Arsen? This new guy's
We are called the Thirsty Girls. Look, what? Right into that.
Oh boy. Andrea was not putting up with some of your crap, and she demanded that you guys basically, like, tell me everything you know. And you outed Atlas and told her all about Caraquette and what you knew about it, and
Nice.
yeah.
It was fine. It was fine.
I mean, you needed the army, right? It is what it is.
Fine.
Means to an end.
Means to an end. From there, the army was gathering, and you were sent by Andrea to go look into an old mine that was on the way, that was said to hold some ancient weapons.
Should we make note that Andrea gave the troops to Elly and not to me? Because that's the daughter she never had.
The daughter she never had. Shame on me for not mentioning it, because that was the name of the episode. Because she loves Elly.
I don't even care. I'm not even bothered. I totally forgot until you mentioned it.
It wasn't my fault. I rolled so good on the intimidation check, okay? I'm sorry.
I mean, Andrea likes a woman who's got a backbone, and Verity, babe.
That's fair. That's fair. She's not wrong.
Do I not have a backbone? Okay, if you say so.
No, you're right. I don't. Of course I don't. Why would I even think that? I'm sorry.
So she sent you to this old mine, a whole bunch. She'd sent people in before, and there was some great weapon down there, and she was like, if you grab this weapon, it can help you on your fight against Caraquette. And also, she was a little bit hoping you might die in the process. You did.
Because there was something down there killing a whole bunch of people, because people would never come back.
Yeah. You fought off a whole bunch of dark stuff. There was, like, living plants. There was the gemstone panthers, which only one of which attacked, thankfully. The orange one attacked.
Yeah, you're welcome, guys.
Yeah, Penny wanted that orange flower.
It was pretty.
I've never felt so smart in an episode before in my entire life.
Like, Ellie's like, I know this. This I know.
Color matching games? Yes, dude.
Got it.
Ellie kicked ass at preschool. Which is why you're wearing overalls today.
Listen, you didn't have to call me out like that.
You have to.
Hey, you're wearing actual clothes.
Hey, yeah, some of us put clothes on for the first time in like a week. And you know what? Sometimes we look like we're 5 years old when we do it.
That's okay.
And that's okay.
That's just fine.
But anyways, you guys did make it to the center, and you met an ancient creature who gave you all a lovely gift. Who started to rebuild the connection between Verity and her gods, who gave Elly the power to sense in what direction the people she loves are in, and gave her a sense of hope that her people were not all dead.
Does that mean that it's always going to be pointing to Ben now?
No, she can choose. She can choose. But yeah, she'll know where he is.
Well, this is exciting.
If you think about Ben and you want to know where Ben is, you will know where Ben is. At least in what direction. All we know is that Ben is not often enough under.
He turns off his location settings and I can't find him anymore.
So everyone Ellie knows
You turn
is
those
like,
back
find
on.
my phone.
Yeah.
His broken heart cries in the east.
There you go. He's like, why did I shouldn't have looked at that. I should have looked at that.
It's like if you could check on your exes in your head, how bad would that be?
Who would do that? Why would you?
Because you have a moment of weakness.
Oh, well, then I hope it reads they have cancer in the north. Kidding. I'm kidding. Except for the 1X.
This is also where we got our new party member. Where this ancient being turned towards Penny and said that she didn't deserve a boon, but rather deserved to have to pay something.
A penance.
To someone she'd hurt. A penance. And broke the amulet that Penny had been wearing and forced the soul of the elven girl who had died, 5 episodes earlier, into Penny's body, giving us a brand new Ariana.
Hey.
Well, people weren't too happy about it. There was a lot of mixed feelings about Ariana.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I mean, kind of weird. New person. Don't really know anything about Ariana. Didn't at the time.
Also, start going by a brand new name.
Start going by a new name. That was a bit of an adjustment. And Ryan was like, hey, maybe Nicholas can help. Nicholas is a smart wizard guy who's been helping the army and, hangs out with my aunts. He's probably on the level. And we found out that there is probably a way to separate Ariana into 2 parts again, but it would take some work. Definitely not something you could do on the run, and you'd have to have the soul willing to have that happen, or it would lead to some dark stuff. So, Michael, if you ever want to leave the game, maybe we'll just force Ariana to split without consent and make you a big, scary ether demon.
Ooh.
I think that's an ending Penny would love. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she'd be okay with that.
Ooh, I'm undead? Nice.
Nice.
We also got to meet Commander Sarita, who is leading the attack on Caraquette. We got to meet Karis, who is an Eladrin who told Verity, I will help you reclaim your throne, which was a thing. And we also got to meet another gentleman whose name I cannot remember, who is made of stone.
That was... Kit?
I'll remember. Here we go. Malik,
that sounds right.
Malik, the golem wizard who had a very nice conversation with Ariana about how people think that he's not real just because he was not born in the traditional sense. And they were all pretty cool people. Pretty cool buddies.
It was good. BFFs.
Yes. Yeah, there's lots of commanders, but those are kind of the top 3 who maybe you could call in a favor at some point. Yeah. So Anisha and Penny were fused, trying to figure out what to do about that. I think Ariana spent a lot of that time just trying to figure out who Ariana is.
Yeah.
And we know Ariana at this point had a class, but not what class Ariana had. And you held that off for us until the season finale.
I did.
Sneaky sneak.
So, that's how I do.
You gotta do the sneaking. Ben had started getting... Ben and Elly had been getting close for a little while after, trying to take care of him. But he started calling you Commander and really sort of reclaiming a bit of himself in that he was being a soldier again, doing the thing he loved doing.
He was in it for the long game.
Yeah. For quite a while, he, Arsen fed him for a while. He was not doing okay. And then clearly, as Elly became a commander and was trying to figure out how to handle some of this stuff, Ben had always kind of been, help an assistant, a second in command, really did his best to try to help Elly be her best self and help her not be embarrassed, I guess, in front of some of the older commanders who were a little shocked that you basically just asked for 1,000 troops and got them.
You call me out again?
I am calling you out again.
No!
I like it.
It's almost like I'm setting up that something happens with Ben.
Oh, snap.
Did something happen with Ben?
Fuck, dude.
They got down.
Probably right about now, actually, in the story. Like, it was like you guys like hooked up for the first time before the attack, right? In that like we might die tomorrow kind of way.
It's like the hottest sex you can have.
That's the best way. Yeah, yeah. Like we're gonna die. Yeah.
Ben is also a sweet little virgin boy, and it was trying to figure out how girls, how does a girl she's
work
pretty and I want to kiss her. Where can I kiss her?
How do girls?
And we also found out then as the troops all marched, so Ben showed up, and the army showed up, and the other commanders showed up, but one person didn't show up. It was Arsen. Ben gave Ryan a note that said that your aunt was going to keep him. Just as
what the fuck?
to make sure you come back, but also maybe for sex.
What the fuck?
That's exactly what Arsen thought. To be fair, the whole point of this power grab you guys were doing was going to make Atlas king and Arsen the next in line for the throne. So making babies with Arsen is suddenly a pretty good political move. Also, he's not so bad looking on the eyes.
It's a really good political move. Like, you can't argue with that. It's a really... I get it. Like, I don't approve.
I'm gonna keep my boyfriend and I'm gonna fuck him.
I'm gonna fuck him. So we didn't get to see...
She tried really hard.
We didn't get to see what Arsen was up to the whole time, but we do know that eventually he is saved and brought to Caraquette by Ryan's childhood rapier teacher, who does not like him, and he manages to make it out with his dignity in I don't know.
Well, is it though?
Most of his dignity. He did break a lot of lamps. So his goal was he had to give himself as long as he could to escape. So he just threw the biggest fit he could possibly throw, so no one would bring him food or water or anything and notice he was gone. So he broke a lot of stuff.
Like the drama queen he is.
Yes,
That's
he
fair.
used his drama degree
Yeah.
to
Finally, it came in useful for something.
It's like, I'm getting out of here. I will break anything I have to break to get out of there.
Yeah.
And then I'll fly on a Pegasus, which also kind of terrifies him. For a guy who is really good at being on horseback, Pegasi are not really his deal, so that's fun. Regardless, you guys decided that you were going to sit down to your war council. You're going to come up with your plan. You decided your goal was to kill the Empress first. You kill the Emperor if you had the chance, and you would maybe kill our Atlas. You never really kind of decided whether or not, if the moment came, you'd actually do it.
It's still up in the air. No, I'm just kidding.
We still haven't decided. We still might.
So you armed yourself with all the stuff you possibly could, and then you began the assault the siege, rather, of Caraquette. Ariana and Tiff went together and blew up a whole bunch of stuff in the city, including a brewery and a garden and all kinds of nice things.
And the dock.
And the docks. Everyone loves
And
docks.
we recreated the scene from the boat that couldn't slow down.
That's true. Which was great. It really fucked up the entire I mean, it gave Elly an opening is what it did, right? It broke a hole in the side of what would have been a very hard fight. So good team playing there. Meanwhile, Ben and Elly were advancing across a frozen lake with the main body of the troops. Elly almost fell in at one point, and then unveiled her one hand, which is made of solid ice, because when she was a kid, she fell into the water and then she woke up with an ice hand.
Sometimes you're lucky in life.
Sometimes things are normal. So yeah, you used your power to help freeze over the ice and save people from falling into the water. And Ryan snuck into the castle as a servant, and basically was going to go and try to talk to Atlas, talk to Raph, see if you could get some assistance. But Atlas, being Atlas, was a bit of a wuss about it. Basically said, I'm not going to stand against my mom. Mommy's scary.
Like a big baby.
But you can. But I'm not going to. But you can.
Also, I want to be king.
You can.
Also, I want to be king. So you sort of were like, fine, let's just go fucking kill your mother. And you had a very dramatic fight on the top of a parapet. So it was like a round, almost like Colosseum style fight, where you eventually knocked Cade unconscious, but he teleported away, meaning he is still somewhere out there. But being on her own didn't really seem to screw Penelope up, because she just kept hitting you guys with stuff. I think did everybody fall unconscious during that fight at some point?
I did.
Twice.
Yeah, it was not an easy victory. You guys definitely didn't go about it in the way that I thought you would. So hey, that's players for you, and nobody died, thankfully. She had a bit of a plan to kill Verity. Was kind of her thing. By the end, she was pretty pissed at Verity for showing up at her castle and starting all this shit.
Yeah.
It happens.
So what do you do when you can't win a fight against a high-level enemy? You jump on her back.
You make Penny a stool, you carry on a stool, and you shove her over the edge.
So yeah, you guys dove off the edge. It was very scary whether or not Ryan would survive the fall, but Ryan didn't really care as long as she died. But the gift from that goddess you'd met underground did end up helping you, and you managed to have ethereal wings for all of 10 seconds, long enough for yourself to land safely on top of the then dead body of the Empress of Caraquette. Then what'd you do?
Okay, no, it didn't go like that. No, I didn't want to. You made me.
It's exactly how it went down.
I did make you.
You made me. I fought
that.
against. Yeah. Like in that game, like I was like, no, I don't want to. And you're like, no, you have to. Your aunt said that you have to bring her head. You have to have her head. And I was like, okay, fine. Because Verity doesn't know that Arsen has already escaped, and the deal is you kill the Empress, or maybe the Emperor too. I don't know what the exact deal was, but. And then you give me their heads, and then you can have your boyfriend back. So she's like, okay, fine. Okay. And she's not like, she's not a up close blood kind of gore. She's not an Elly. Like,
yeah, you're not.
Ryan
you're not
debilitates. Ryan, like, no.
You're doing a very precise cut where you need to.
Yeah.
You're not chopping.
No.
But you did chop this time.
Yeah.
And then when you held up her head, with Ben and other people cheering for the new emperor, claiming that you were his champions, you saw Arsen standing there watching you hold his mother's head, with some mixed feelings. I mean, he obviously wasn't all game for his parents' stuff. He had helped Lien as a spy. He went off with you guys, joined the army. But there's definitely a sense that seeing his mother's death is very different than imagining it. Arsen also is
some arousal, some horror.
Arsen has never killed anyone. He is not not a killer. Some arousal, some horror. A little bit of both. A little bit of both. That's basically been Arsen's life with Ryan. Little bit aroused, a little bit terrified. Aroused, terrified.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
Scaroused.
Scaroused is a good word for it. But you guys killed the Empress of Caraquette, and because she is the one who, her family is the lineage of rulership, it means that Cade has no say to the throne anymore, and it passes to her son and her heir, Atlas, your new emperor, who made you his champions. Your champions.
Yeah.
Yay. Basically, Atlas's plan here is like, you can either die because you murdered the Empress and, you have to put to death for it, or I claim I was doing a political coup and I release you guys. So he helped you out.
Yeah.
He helped himself out.
I mean, he was going to get to be ruled no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, his brother loves you, so he probably couldn't kill Ryan. But
come get some.
You and I are going to fight in a field, Atlas. Put that great sword away.
Try me.
Try me, bitch.
Yeah, so you guys had to kind of deal with all that went therein. This episode also ends with a very sad moment where Ariana, well, actually two things happened. So Ariana went to go find her parents, who had did nothing but mean, and turns out your dad had his tongue cut out, and your mom was sort of in this constant state of fear, but like had pretended nothing was happening. We were sort of in denial about it.
Is that what happened to the dad?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. He talked,
I just thought he was in shock.
No, he talked back and he got his tongue cut out.
Well, damn.
Yep.
That's harsh.
It is harsh.
That's harsh. It's a good thing I'm leaving that city. Otherwise, some guys, yeah.
And Leanne's people were also being held there as well. Mostly the ones that had been captured, but yeah, it was not a good place to be. Being considered a spy and a traitor, although you literally are a traitor, or were at the time, so.
Yeah.
It's good he took Tiff with you, that's all I'm saying. And then we had a super sad moment where Ben was all happy, having a great day, drinking with some of his old friends, and he kind of had a bit of a moment where he grabbed Elly and dipped her, and it was very romantic. And then what'd you do, Elly?
Nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
What'd you do, Elly?
Nothing. Was me?
I can't remember what
Did you
Elly
break
did.
him? Did you break
No.
his heart?
Nope. Nope.
Did you take the ring he gave you and also break up with him?
Oh yeah, that's what you did.
Yeah.
And
No.
then left him to cry looking out at the ocean?
No.
Pretty sure that's what you
You're
did.
right, you're right. It's a lake.
Pretty sure that's what you did.
Listen. Some of us don't handle stress that well.
Is that Elly or Sarah?
First of all, no.
I would have to answer that. Second of all, I'm a
Probably
lawyer.
is totally
I'm a
right.
lawyer.
Like, let's break up, but can I have the ring?
No. That's
What
gross.
can I have it? No. The ring
Elly,
was a ring of water walking because Ben knows that Elly is scared of drowning. Well, only recently found that out during their attack on the Capitol, and was like, I'm gonna help so that she doesn't have to feel afraid anymore.
The one thing she's afraid of.
Yeah, getting close. But
Yeah.
Sarah and I had this conversation afterwards, right? Like, the thing about Ben is, like, he's still so proud of you. You did so well. And, like, that's not contingent on you being his girlfriend. So, he's sad. We saw him left behind at the gates when you left.
Listen, it was just keep him safe.
Yeah. It's not like he's the kind of guy who literally has dove in front of attacks to save you. And wears the most armor of any of you.
Look at this stupid idiot! He's gonna get himself killed for her! She doesn't think she's worth it. Why would... No!
I feel like we gotta go back into that when we talk a bit more about Elly. But this is actually... Then we're leaving up to our last episode, which only dropped on Sunday, so hopefully you guys have had a chance to look at it. But this is where there's a horrible fire in not in the city, sorry, in the castle, because all of the things that Mr. Cade had suddenly burst into flames. Almost like he's hiding his tracks.
His books is...
His books is.
So you guys managed to put out most of the fires without people, dying. Arsen and Atlas were a little coffee, but that thing happens. And then you had to deal with a problem with the unseen rebels because turns out Atlas was having them stay in the castle, and that kind of made them uncomfortable, seeing as, you know, they couldn't leave and they stood against him, and maybe he would just kill them all in one fell swoop. But you guys managed to convince Atlas that he should let them go, that they would leave the city and travel with you guys, or at least leave with you guys. And you actually managed to convince Atlas to let them all go, which was very good guy of you. Verity, you and Arsen came up with a plan to protect yourselves because you still want to travel with your friends. You are now, quote-unquote, engaged, right?
Yep.
I mean, legally speaking.
Don't sound too excited.
It's not legally.
I mean, neither of you actually proposed to the other.
That was Atlas's idea.
It was.
That wasn't us. That was Atlas.
So the idea is that you guys are engaged and you're being kept safe in the castle in Caraquette, so that if Andrea comes after Arsen or you, you'll have a bit of time to go into hiding, basically. So hopefully they can keep up the charade long enough that you guys can get off the map. You're actually going to have to walk through basically pretty close to Lunaris to be able to get to where Elly's people are from. So you're going to have to be pretty sneaky to get away with it. So, yay! Engaged and on the run!
We're both rogues, it's fine.
Yeah, but Elly and Ariana aren't rogues.
Yeah, I know.
I'm well aware.
I'm well aware.
So the two of you snuck out through back streets and joined your friends, and Elly and Ariana got to enjoy a festival in their honor, a parade float, people drinking and cheering. Ariana, you revealed your second class, which is...
Yeah, I did. He's a druid.
Yeah, and you jumped out and became a mastiff.
Sure did.
And your sister did a conjuration of a big dog, and two of you did a bit of a parade float party. It was a good time. And the last thing we saw was Ben waving goodbye as the gates closed.
They're literally like, they walk out there like, slam them shut. But I just forgot. Nope.
Bye.
Nope. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out.
Ben's doing one of these like, bye.
Bye. Bye.
So that's what you guys did in season 1, which is actually a lot of crap. You guys got into a lot of chaos.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good times.
Chaos is my favorite.
Isn't it? So we talked a bit about the overall plot. Let's dig into a bit about the characters, where they were when you guys created them, how they changed over the course of the game. Maybe some exciting things to look forward to in season 2. Let's start with Verity.
Exciting.
Verity decided to reclaim her title.
Yeah. I mean, she's not, like at this moment, like she's not happy, like with the, like, actions of her aunt and the fact that, I mean, at least that there had been word sent that Andrea had that Andrea basically said that Arsen had proposed to her, and Verity was like,
and then Arsen did this.
So I mean, she's getting there, but no, she's not pleased at the end. I mean, as far as I guess as like arc goes, so when I had first started with Ryan, the whole point was that was wrapped around this idea of repenting, and like atoning for her sins. That's the way that her aunt had raised her. Her parents died when she was really, really little. And her aunt basically used, it didn't work so much on her brother, but it worked really, really good on Verity. But then Verity's brother died, and then there was nobody else. And her aunt's basically used, you know, religion and the gods to manipulate Verity into doing whatever she wants. And Verity's a bit of a pushover. Like, she's not overly confident or strong. She never planned to be a ruler. A lot like Arsen, like this, like I wasn't supposed to do this.
Rude. True, but
accurate. True, but rude. Accurate, but hurtful. Like that was never her plan, though like Arsen and Verity like being like the second borns and not having to be rulers. I think they spent their time very differently. But like neither would have been prepared for that. So once her brother died, which was, I think, when I come to it, probably
it wasn't long before the game started, right? Year?
No, it was longer than that. Yeah, it was longer than that. A long enough period for Andrea to really get her religious rhetoric into her, without anyone to argue with her. I think like she's grown somewhat. I mean, she did. I mean, as far as she knows, she did kill somebody. She does regret that. Like I said, that's why she didn't argue with whatever this punishment was, whether it was her wings or whatever. You know, she fucked up, and the fact was is that she, as far as she knows, I'm gonna keep saying that, like as far as she knows, she did kill somebody's son that was somebody's brother, right? And she wanted to pay that debt in order to not like rightfully rejoin her family. I guess Andrea is all she really has left, but that was her. I mean, like that was her end goal, and whatever that took, that's what she wanted to do. So she didn't argue too much about it, or at all, really. As far as like, I think I'd also had written down that like her, like as much as her growth can be seen, I think Atlas is the best point of reference for that. As far as anybody else, she doesn't really argue, especially with powerful women figures. Like they just like she just
powerful female rulers
and
just, like,
she just that's not her point of strength. Those aren't the people that she feels comfortable arguing with. And even at the beginning with Atlas, again, like really kind of meek and subservient and trying to, you know, just do what she has to do. But I mean, like she takes all of Penelope's shit, even straight up to the end. Like there was just and I have this question for other people, but this is a question that I wrote down when I was thinking about like what was like one of my biggest like regrets throughout this season was like not ever, before Penelope died, not ever speaking up to her, but she just couldn't. Like it wasn't her time. It's still not in her personality. If it came down to her aunt at this very moment, she still wouldn't be able to say anything. But she's kind of worked her way up a little bit with Atlas. And that's, again, it's not the same thing. He's not as manipulative, or maybe he just doesn't know how to like pull her strings properly. But that's kind of the only way that she's really started to stand up for herself. She's not really good at that. But she's worked her way up doing that with Atlas. And I think a lot of this came from, I think in particular, some of the conversations that she had with Arsen, and I think and Elly backed up a lot of that stuff too, that some of the stuff that she thought was normal, like the way that her aunt had punished her, or that she thought that this was just like normal stuff, like, yeah, no, like I killed somebody so they cut my wings off. And then like no one had ever been there to tell her like, no, that's not okay, like that's not, like that's too far, or that's too much, or like it doesn't matter if it has to do with the gods or whatever. But there was no kind of line to tell her that what was too far, or what was just far enough, or what you should be punished. And she's still unsure about that, like what, like regarding, and I wouldn't say that she's overly religious, but how she can kind of balance having a god ancestry but not being extremely religious, like so having a religion, believing in religion, but not being that kind of, yeah, but not in the extremist type of view. Like it's not that she doesn't deny that there are gods and she was descended from them. That's great. Like that's fine. But trying to find a balance between like the way that, I mean, that's not even ASMR culture. Like, you don't cut the wings off of people, like, you don't. But I mean, like, Verity's she's just a pushover. So if you can, she's really easily manipulated if you know the right things to do. Like, and she's working on that. And I think the best way to see that is through Atlas. And I mean, it's not great. I'm not gonna say that it's like leaps and bounds that she's come on, but I mean, as far as the time from having her wings cut off till now, it hasn't really been that long. But it's something that she's definitely working on. I mean, and I mean, she just gets stabbed a lot. Like, when she does, like, it hasn't always worked out in her benefit. Like, the more you talk up and the more she gets stabbed or whipped or stabbed, like, it's not
stabbed. Always.
I know.
Just a playful poke.
Yeah. But a lot of, like, I think, like, the trauma that she had, like, brought with her, like the fact that she couldn't save her brother and she tried really, really hard. But I mean, she wasn't meant to. I think that's part of the point, but she doesn't know that. So she just thinks that she failed. Like, that hasn't really been dealt with. So along with kind of like the need to repent, like, she already feels like there's a whole bunch of stuff that she's already failed at. She already feels like she shouldn't be here. So I mean, as far as like punishment, she doesn't really argue with them because she thinks that she deserves a lot of it, even though that's not right. But again, like I think before Elly and Arsen, like, no one had ever told her, like, no, this is not okay. Like, that's not, like, this isn't, because her brother wasn't around, and even when he was around, and like, and Veril wasn't. He's not a bad person.
But he's not a great guy.
He's not a great guy. Yeah, so I mean, even when he was around, like, he wasn't really overly concerned about how his aunt was treating her. He was more concerned about, you know, enjoying his life and taking advantage of all of the offerings that being the future king
offerings. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Yeah.
All the people who offer to lift their skirts and shirts and.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, he. I think they're probably maybe both a bit damaged after their parents died, and I don't think that either of them really dealt with it well. And they certainly didn't deal with it well with each other, and they certainly didn't deal with it well with Andrea. I don't think any of that was really. But he's not a bad guy. He's not a bad guy, but no, he wasn't overly concerned about what his aunt was saying to his little sister, and that wasn't a big concern, so.
Yeah.
Not that I mean, like, he loved her, and she loved him, but it wasn't. Like, they didn't talk. They didn't sort their feelings out. They didn't, you know.
It's not like how Atlas was always like, Arsen, come and talk to me. Let's hang out. Let's shoot the shit.
So they have like a normal brother-sister relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. Where he's more out just like, you know, screwing people, waving his crown around.
So there's from the chat. There's a good question here. I guess statement is Verity gonna talk to a cleric or a priest, somebody outside of her aunt's control? Is like any kind of theological studies gonna come into her repentance?
That was actually something that her aunt suggested. Verity had already said, so when she came back to Lunaris, her aunt had said, like, and Verity, she's trying so hard. She's like, no, I'm doing really good. Like, I'm on the track to, you know, being atoned. And but her aunt was very quick to point out that there were still some flaws in that story, like where the gods dictate that if you are undeserving of love, and she's like, well, no, but I love somebody, but Andrea's like, yeah, but he doesn't love you, which is why she went after him. And she's like, well, do the gods talk to you? She's like, well, no, but she's like, well, then you're not repented. Like that's not the end of it.
Yeah, Ryan needs to go see a therapist. Badly. But not when her aunt's paid for.
Yeah. Ideally. But I think there's like, so when we built this, when we were originally talking about this, there is a lot.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Sounds so dirty.
We were originally kind of like building this though. So there is some kind of that Aasimar lore from the player's handbook where like the gods send visions and stuff like that. But we've kind of taken that culture and wrapped it up. So when we had originally built this, it was that the Aasimars and humans used to live together, and now they don't live together anymore. They basically built a wall between each other. They've been at war ever since. And it basically came down to this idea of humans not having magic, humans wanting to take magic, and resenting the Aasimar for having to breed with them to make children that are magical. So the humans then decided, well, then we are just going to take magic from magical creatures and not have to have sex with them. So a lot of it kind of came from that, which is why Lunaris and Solaris are strictly Aasimar, and then which is why, well, I mean, Caraquette is almost all human.
Yeah, you got like the mundane races, and then you've got the,
yeah,
like, Fae
but
touch.
it's magical and Fae touched are rare, and if magical and Fae touched are in there, then they're basically being used by Cade as batteries. So there's not a whole lot in there. But yeah, so as far as season 2 goes, like Verity's not in a great place. She tries to, I think, but the biggest problem is this idea that like she's actually a good person who's made some mistakes, but she keeps making some mistakes. Where she thought we're like, oh, I just killed this one person, and then she kills another person, then she kills another person, and then it's the justification of like, no, I killed this person because, or I cut this person because. It's a lot of the reason why she doesn't go in for killing blows, why she goes in for things that will debilitize people instead of killing people. Aside from it not being her style, she's trying to change. Like the whole reason she got into this is because of killing somebody that didn't deserve to be killed, and she's trying not to do that. And then even I think that like the biggest thing was from Penelope. Again, I will say you can go back and watch that episode. You can watch me go, no, can't I take her necklace? Like I did not want to cut off Penelope's head. Like,
oh, I full on forced you into that.
Okay,
and you knew Arsen was gonna be there. You're like, she's gonna make me do it. She's gonna make me do it.
Yeah,
I railroaded you hard.
Yeah,
for drama,
and that like. But that recognition of like the horrible things that you do for somebody, I'm kind of bouncing in between. There's like kind of two options how I'm planning to take Verity into season 2 based on that information, but that will have not been a good turning point for her in one way or another. Something so outside of her character, so that's something that she's going to be dealing with through season 2. We shall see how that manifests itself. But it's not going to be plus. But she's she's got a whole bunch of baggage, right? All those like undealt with issues. Just carry that shit around. It'll be fine.
It's fine.
It'll be fine.
You have a big holding now.
Yes, that's also true.
Good for baggage.
I mean, or she's just not ready to accept that she's just like. That she's just not so cut and dry, like good or bad, or kind of accepting that in between space that like you do what you have to do for the people that you love, like, and that's kind of a gray area that isn't as drawn out in the religious teachings that she's familiar with. There's a very strict kind of black and white, good and bad, things you do and things you don't do. So falling into the middle, which I think she's starting to try and kind of learn a little bit from Elly and Ariana and Arsen and Tiff and Ben and all the people that are around. Like, sometimes good people can do bad things and still be good, and that's a concept that's kind of foreign to her. But I mean, she's done some pretty fucked up things. Like, we're not talking about, and we're not talking about the situations where, like, we're not talking about killing Penelope. Like, that's not the issue here. The issue is then cutting off Penelope's head to please her aunt. Like, we're in another realm of what's right and what's wrong. So, like, the killing of Penelope, she understood that. They had been, you know, experimenting on magical creatures. We knew that. Like, that stuff was not right. Like, that she believed in. But then what? Yeah.
They even experimented on a Pegasi. That poor thing.
Yeah. So, but that's kind of, I hope I summed most of that up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but trying to hopefully get into that.
So Verity's not going to be super happy in season 2?
It's not that she's not going to be happy. She's just ruined inside.
You and I might have a different definition of what not happy means.
Well, you can be positive on the outside. Like, she is looking forward to getting away from Caraquette. She's looking forward to, even though that stuff is still very looming, like, she knows, and Atlas knows, that her aunt's gonna come for Arsen. Like, they know that. To what extent, we don't know. Can Atlas put her off? We don't know. But, like, that's very looming. She very much feels, I mean, and she's not, like, against it, but it feels very much like she's running away from her problems, and yeah.
If you keep running, they can't get you. It's not true. It's not true.
Well, that's the plan.
It's not true, though. Okay, so that's a bit about where Ryan / now is going to be fully taking over the mantle of Princess Verity in season 2. So that's a little bit of behind the scenes there. Elly, where was Elly when you first imagined her as a character? Where did she end up? What'd she do?
Oh boy. Did this all come out of left field? Because I was expecting to be the not the dumb one, but I didn't have to make the plans. Wasn't in charge of things. I just showed up and I killed people. But, you know, I had not fully thought out the whole concept of her. And I'm still figuring her out, but, like, she's definitely not who I thought she was gonna be.
I mean, she's still a little, like, you know, she's the person who's gonna go smash somebody's face in. But then now you've got to figure out what to do with the body after.
Yeah. And how it makes her feel afterwards, and the people around her, how it makes them feel, and, you know, what kind of trouble it gets her into. It's like, damn, consequences? I didn't sign up for those. But, you know, I mean, I had one idea of how she was going to be as a character, and it kind of just took on its own persona as soon as we started playing. And I've just been kind of rolling with it ever since, but I think she's more... She's happier now than she's probably been in a long time. And also, right now in her mind, there's a lot to do and a lot to get done, and the fact that she knows that some of her people are out there is like...
It kind of changes things, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, and,
Did you know that jam was going to be a big thing?
I did not! I remember the first episode being like, what goes on crumpets? Jam? And we had this whole discussion of it, and it was like, marmalade, jam, butter. And I was like, well, can't remember the last time I ate a crumpet. But
yeah,
honestly,
there was a whole debate about whether or not jam is appropriate to eat on crumpets.
yeah. And it was like, well, it's too late. Elly only eats jam on crumpets.
Yeah.
And
the chat was suggesting that you basically buy therapy for Ryan with scoops of jam.
Buy it with the jam?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know what? I mean, where we're going, maybe that'll be the new
It can be like that lollipop owl where it's just like, how many licks does it take to fix Verity? 1 lick? 2 licks?
2 lick?
And then it turns out it was like a, I don't know, some kind of horrible beholder or something.
Me. But yeah, I'm definitely still figuring out what I'm doing. But excited for the future and where we're going as people.
Yeah, what do you think's gonna happen with Elly's people? What are you hoping for?
Would love to know that they're all safe and in a good place and living happy lives. But I don't feel like that's a realistic dream.
I don't know. I let you have things you want sometimes. I've been known to.
Yeah?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
But I always give you some Pegasi back.
This is true. I get a derpy Pegasus every once in a while. It's like, it's okay. Silver lining.
Are you gonna go back for Gus?
You mean for Goose?
For Goose?
Can I steal a Pegasus? Is that allowed? Do they belong to anyone? Does he want to come with me?
Of course he wants to come with you. But you'll take him, but not Ben? Just putting it out there.
That feels like a double-edged sword.
If you can take Goose.
Listen, I can slap Goose on the ass and be like, "Get out of here, it's dangerous," and he'll be like, "Oh, okay."
You can't do that to Ben?
Ben would be like, "What do you mean danger? Danger is my middle name."
It really is.
You make Ben sound really cool.
I do though.
Danger is my middle name. It's true. Goose does have a mama Pegasus, so probably mama's not gonna let you take him.
I was gonna say him. I remember you saying he was a bebe.
He's just a little bebe.
I can't.
Like a preteen. Let's say he's like in human terms, he's like 11 or 12.
Listen, I'm not gonna rob a tween off a mama Pegasus and take him adventuring and possibly get him murdered.
Yeah, that's probably a good move.
That chaotic.
Pegasus are pretty independent too. Like they're not as subservient as horses are. Like they are serving at their own leisure.
It's true.
Okay.
They just live in the field. You can't really
You could probably convince him to go with you though. Be like, Goose, 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 Goose.
Listen, best case scenario, I get to come back and visit him.
I mean, you guys are running away from home. Goose could run away from home too.
I'm not gonna do that to a tween Pegasus. Not gonna happen. I'm not doing it.
Tween Pegasus. They are like cats. They're pretty independent. They do what they want, but they do like cuddles.
Bunch of dum-dums.
I wonder what Pegasus puberty looks like.
They probably look like the flying unicorns from Onward.
Just like a little of an awkward stage.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. Like, oh man, I grew out some pink hair. God, I hate when I break out in pink.
Yeah.
Oh, his neigh breaks. I wish I could do the sound of a horse neighing, but with a broken voice. But there's no way I'm that good of a voice actor.
Nope.
Yeah, because it would start off like.
Hey.
So in season 2, though, we're gonna go try to find some of Elly's people. That's part of the goal, right? Head up north, save some people, run away from your problems a bit.
It's my favorite thing to do. But yeah, I don't know what to expect, but I'm excited and scared and aroused. Just always
Scare-roused.
Also
Scare-roused.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Like
Scarouse,
4
Scarouse.
crumpeted jams out of 10, or like
Yeah.
Scarouse.
Like
Not
just
very high score actually.
yeah. Super sticky and scaroused at all times. That's it.
What's gonna happen with Ben? Are you moving on?
Listen, I left him there to keep him safe. Don't know why I am the bad guy for thinking of someone else's well-being.
No, but are you gonna go back for him?
Yeah, sure, if I survive.
Survive what? What do you have planned? You're just running away.
We're just going to see your family. What the fuck do you think we're doing?
I don't know where the fuck my family is.
I thought
Go
this
over
was
there.
a nice journey. I thought we were just, forcing for a couple weeks. Go find your family, meet them.
Do some
When has
glamping.
When has it ever been
Glamping.
nice? When has it ever been a nice journey for us?
That's metagaming.
You know what though? You guys can glamp now because Ariana got a tiny hut for you guys to stay in.
It's true.
So we gotta deck that out.
Yeah, no.
Yep.
Are there details about it? Like, do you get a certain number of rooms? Like, does everyone get their own room?
Oh,
and
the
their own
hut?
bed?
Well, let's see. I don't think so. I think it's literally just like a camp.
I think it makes a room.
Yeah, it's like a common room.
Mm.
More
You've got the tower and you've got the mansion.
yeah, Mordekainen's mansion does the
Yeah,
big
so you've got the private sanctum.
Ariana's
You've
portable
got the
Airbnb.
magnificent. Yeah. So it's the tiny hut, right?
It's only an Airbnb if it floats.
What is that?
You gotta put it on top one of those like those discs. What's the disc one?
Oh,
You know the one I mean.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Somebody looked it up for us. Thanks,
Tensor's
Lucy.
floating disc. Tensor's floating disc, right?
Tensor's floating
Yeah,
disc.
that's the one.
So,
Fuck yeah.
Leoman's tiny hut, 9 creatures of medium size or smaller, we're good. Fit inside the dome with you. Creatures and
What's it
objects
called?
within the dome can move through it freely. Spells magically effects can't extend throughout the dome.
Oh, wait a minute.
It's
Tiny
comfortable
hut.
and dry. So it is just kind of like a weird dome. Like you're kind of just like in a weird like
Yeah,
you're at a golf course with like in a weird hut.
it's nice.
Oh, you can turn on the lights. You can make it dimly lit or dark, so you can be like lights out.
Yep.
Clap on. Clap
Ooh,
off.
Here we go. The dome is opaque from the outside, and any color you choose.
Yeah.
So what color is it going to be every night? That's the thing we'll have to know. Is today a pink dome night?
Probably.
Every dome. Yeah. So yeah, you guys will be able to head north, which is great because it's cold up north. So it's a good thing you have a nice hut to stay in.
Although it looks like I do need to keep a small crystal bead with me.
Yeah, well,
So
I mean, you got some pearl necklaces. Maybe you can trade them for some crystal gem necklaces.
I guess I'll just need to find some peeps for that.
It's a magical mosquito net.
Beautiful.
All right. Well, we know not everyone that Elly loves is dead, so that's a good start. That's not bad.
Yay!
Not everyone is dead.
So it's a good thing.
Yeah. And turns out she was just talking about
It's
Carmen.
as good as it gets.
I know
She's
Carmen's alive.
Oh fuck.
For now.
No, that's Atlas.
Yes. True.
All right, and then Ariana, where did you imagine? Well, when you were Penny, what was Penny imagined as, and how much did that change?
Well, quite a lot. Yeah, I mean, I've had Penny in my mind for a while. I played, going back maybe 5 years or so, I was at a Dungeons and Dragons tournament, and the idea of this necromancer who went into it because his mentor kind of tricked him into it. Like, he didn't even think about it. I really like that idea. Because a good character that does bad things never believes that they're doing bad things. So I really like that that dynamic. So I figured, okay, if necromancers are generally the more like bad or evil character, I want to play that as somebody who is like the definition of good-hearted and good-natured. And the only way that I could possibly do that is if she was ridiculously naive. So I took two of my favorite animated characters, which was Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls and Olaf from Frozen, and essentially made Penny with those two characters in mind and gave her a typical D&D tragic backstory. But the thing that I wanted to do, because this was something that my friends and I would always laugh about, is that if you're playing a Dungeons and Dragons character, no matter what it is, your parents are dead. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I want to have my parents alive and well. And so that also just gives more characters to play off of. So I think mine were the only two that were actually alive in this campaign. Yeah. So anyway, her whole thing was just, I mean, the reason why Penny is the way she is, she did some really bad stuff that she has now come to realize are bad because people have told her. Sheltered for sure. She's got that suburban ignorance kind of going on as well. Like, kind of like I'm a part of the real world, but I actually don't know what's going on. Kind of an idea.
You're so privileged you've never had to deal with the stuff that you are now dealing with.
Exactly. Yeah. So her whole deal was that she had to pay back all of her student loans, because I also wanted to root this in reality. So, like, what's one of the biggest things driving our generation to doing things we don't want to do? It's our giant student loans holding us down, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, because that's always the one thing about D&D characters, is like, what's really motivating them to literally risk their lives? You know, no sane person would go out and risk their lives killing monsters. So she has this practically she has this like unemployable skill, which is necromancy. Nobody's going to employ her with that.
Hashtag English degree.
It's true.
Who has an English degree here?
Psychology
just
and
two of us are
library
unemployed.
science. Yeah. So
Postgraduate education. You can't just stop at an English degree. You have to go past an English degree.
yeah.
Yeah, also, I went to school and I'm working in a completely different field now, so.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
You're a fucking dice maker.
True.
Yeah, Laura, did you take dice making in school?
Should've. Fucking should've.
Anyways, continue.
That's okay. So yeah, that was her kind of whole thing. Going off adventuring, and the quickest way to make a buck was to do that. But right off the get-go, she got employed with the royalty there. So
yeah, your sister got you a job.
Yeah, that came right off. So I was not expecting that. Like, we were talking about that when we originally planned this game, but like that wasn't the original idea. Like, her whole thing was just she was going to go out adventuring for treasure to pay off the student debt, which I think is still a thing, but I don't really know. So anyway,
I mean, being the only person in your party who could own money for a while made it difficult to make a dent in your student loans.
That is very true. Yeah. So, and I also feel like she kept trying to find ways to pay it, but like there was never a system in place to pay it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I could go to the university and pay it.
I mean, you can now that you're free.
I can, yeah. But I haven't been getting like messages from the school. I haven't been getting. That's what I always figured was going to happen. Was just like, hey, like, the moment that you miss a payment on your student loans, like, they are after you like hotcakes. So
you're gonna find like a pile of letters at your parents' house. Your mom just didn't forge your mail.
Right. So yeah. Outside of that, she's just been kind of going with the flow. Having friends for the first time has been pretty fun, pretty cool.
Like, having friends for the first time is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just completely novel to her. because the only friends she's had was her sister up to this point, and for most of her life, like the last couple of months probably were the closest that she's had with her sister, only because the two of them were so studious.
Yeah, I mean, Tiff has always been the good student, right? Like,
yeah, like Penny had to work for it. Like she had to shut herself in to get the grades that she did. So
yeah, Tiff's just a prodigy. We have a lot of being like the younger sibling who's like, this sucks.
Yeah.
In this game.
Well, and luckily for Penny, it was never like, this sucks. It's just like, I'm going to be as cool as my older sister. And if I have to work twice as hard to do that, then I'll do that because I want to be cool like her. So that was really cool. Yeah, and then my character switch happened, which was pretty fun. That was obviously something that I didn't see coming. And with Ariana, it's really been figuring out who she is with these two different personalities. And kind of not necessarily blending the two because they're both there. And that's one thing that I really enjoy about Ariana is that it's not oil and water staying in the same cup. It's these two malleable liquids creating something new that are still 100% the one and 100% the other.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been really fun to kind of play around with, where you'll see aspects of Penny and aspects of Anisha kind of creeping up here and there. The one thing that the character has added is that where Penny was very trusting right off the bat, believed every single word that anybody ever told her. With Anisha in there, who's got a little bit more wisdom, not a whole lot, but a little bit more wisdom and a little bit more knowledge, and not necessarily like world knowledge, but experience and like this is how the world works because her family is like a working family and very talented in that sense. She doesn't take everything for face value. You know, she kind of looks a little bit deeper at where the strings are getting pulled, kind of an idea, which is something that is so foreign to Penny. She's still trying to figure out what that actually means. So there's a lot of times when somebody will say something and there's like this whole conversation going on in Ariana's head because this one single piece of information means two different things to her. So it's kind of the two of them having a discussion about it to kind of come about this new thing. So if anything, it's also helped make Anisha a little bit more trusting of those around her. So.
I remember when the first episode when Ariana really talked to the party, and like I think it was Laura was just like, "Are you talking in a different voice? Like, is Penny's voice different?" And like just her like the cadence changed.
Yeah,
and it did feel really off-putting at first in a really good way.
Yeah, because so I wanted to keep the same voice, but the cadence of it has changed because Penny's very much like this and very happy and let's all be friends and fast talking, and she likes to go low at times and then she goes high. But with Ariana, she doesn't quite know what that is yet. So it's a little bit more thoughtful. There's a little bit more, it's definitely slower in the delivery. Because now she has almost two sources to figure out sentences with. So it's, yeah. And for season 2, she's just here for her friends. Yeah.
Aww, friendship.
Yeah, I mean, she's getting kicked out of the second home that she's ever had. So, I mean, it's weird. This is an ongoing thing for Penny, at least, because it wasn't so much that she was kicked out of her home at first, but she went away to school. Then she got kicked out of school, got kicked out of home, and now is getting kicked out of the castle. So it's like bam, bam, bam.
A lot of being turned away.
That's like, yeah. It's so sad that she like thought of it as a home too.
Yeah.
Like that says something about her childhood.
Home is where you leave your skulls.
It's true. Yeah. So yeah, she doesn't really have like there's no real objective for Ariana outside of finding out more and discovering who she is. I think that's really what she's most excited of, and just like living, because Anisha had found peace in her death in a certain respects, but she's over thrilled and overjoyed to actually get a second chance. So yeah, I think she just wants to kind of live it for whatever it's worth, and she knows that she's on borrowed time at this point. So yeah.
Yeah, who knows what that does to somebody?
Mm-hmm.
Be interesting to see what happens. I am kind of interested in the idea of doing like, can you imagine like the Golden Academy has like mercs that they hire, but it's like, this is OSAP collections.
Oh no!
Right?
Yep.
They're coming for you.
They're coming for you.
You always have that sense that someone's watching you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They're just in the trees dressed as squirrels. Not like
Yeah.
sheep,
OSAP.
just dressed.
OSAP is the Ontario loans for
Oh
school.
right. There's
the
some
one that
people
you-
here
If you're not here from Canada,
from Ontario.
that's what we call them. They're the OSAP. They're the people that your Ontario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just picture like a
Hello.
mobster, like with a baseball
People.
bat, going up to you
Yeah.
and being like, "Those are pretty nice kneecaps you got there." I'd be ashamed if something
It's a nice
happened
degree
to
you
them.
got there.
Nice
Be
degree you
ashamed if
got
it wasn't
there.
useful.
Yeah.
Honestly.
All right, so that's like kind of the brief of our characters. I mean, for you guys and people in chat, like, are there any NPCs you want some dark secrets about? Any anything you have planned for season 2, or you want? To see?
I have multiple questions. Like if we're opening this up to question time,
Ooh. All right.
I have I have many questions. I have many questions.
All right, we'll pick one to start.
One.
Yeah, that's fair. People take turns. It's like
Okay.
initiative.
No, I'm gonna do two. I'm gonna do two, and you're gonna deal with it. Okay. Okay. Because the first one's gonna take.
Sorry.
The first one's going to take a little bit of consideration. So I posted this in the Darkness and Dragons on Twitter and on Instagram. And if you're there, you probably saw the post. But I would like to know, if you have to describe your character, and I want to hear from everybody in the chat, any of your original characters, let me know. If you describe your character in 3 fictional characters, who would they be? Now, this came up. Right, so I'd already posted it, but Michael brought it back up when he was describing Penny as kind of a mixture of
Olaf and
this is back when Penny was Penny,
Yeah.
as a mixture of Bubble and Olaf. But if you had to, I'd like to know what Elly would say and what Ariana would say now and what Atlas might say or Arsen or whoever you can come up with. I know you have a whole bunch.
NPC.
Whoever you prefer, whoever's the easiest. Right, so that's my like think about it question. But if you have an OC, like put those in there. Or if you go to if you don't get it in on the stream here, the post is on Twitter and it's on Instagram. So if you don't get it in here and you need some time to think about it, you can still post your answers on Twitter or Instagram on Dungeons and Dragons live stream. The question is still up there. Right. Okay. My first question then, and I have a few written down, is...
Oh, are we not answering that question?
Not this very second. Not this very second.
We'll
Oh,
come
I'm
back
going to
to it
forget the
again.
moment this ends, by the way.
Oh, okay. If you would like to go now, then you can go now.
You're just like, I want to do it. I want to do
I
it.
want to do it. I want to do it. Come on.
Go for it.
Okay, let's see here. So now we're talking like Ariana, right?
Yeah.
Not Penny?
Well,
Okay.
you'd already said like there was 2 for Penny. If you already have 3 for Ariana, then go for it. If you only have 2, it doesn't matter. It's not that. The
Yeah,
rules aren't
no.
that strict.
Okay, so it's going to sound really stupid. So for Ariana, I'm going to go for Bella Swan.
Oh.
I'm going to go. What's her name? The sister from Frozen, Anna.
Mhm.
Anna from Frozen.
Yep.
And finally, I'm going to go with Willow from Buffy.
Oh,
That's an
A
interesting
very good
mix.
combo.
Yeah.
really sweet.
Anybody else want to go this very second? Anybody ready? I need more time to think about it. Like, I'm not
You
ready.
came up
But
with
if you
the
guys,
question. How are you not ready?
I've been thinking about this since I posted it in Instagram, and I'm
You
still
asked me
struggling.
like 5 seconds ago, and I'm like 1, 2, 3, done.
Yeah.
I know, but it's
You
hard.
dominated this problem.
Why ask the question? Come on, go.
I mean, so
It
I-
was a
do
question
this.
for you guys, not for me.
Oh, come on.
So,
Boo.
the one that comes to mind for me is the only one where I'm like the character where I'm like, oh yeah, this is so and so, is Ben is sort of inspired by a character from Dragon Prince named Gren. Have you guys seen Dragon Prince? So Gren is like the commander's second in command, and he's very cute and covered in freckles. But the commander in Dragon Prince is deaf, and he reads her sign and translates for her. So he's
Okay.
like always by her side, and there's that like companionship kind of role, but he's very sweet and sincere as well. So that's a little bit of like where Ben came from.
Okay.
Wow, thanks for that.
You don't have to go yet. I have more questions.
Okay, go next question.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm not ready yet either, so take your time, Sarah Ellywick. Take your time. Okay.
Your middle name is not Ellywick.
Look, they're interchangeable. Okay. So my next question then would be, it's what was for you like the most emotional moment in series 1, or like did you cry, when did you cry, what almost made you cry, like what was kind of that borderline I'm gonna lose it moment? Did you have one, or maybe you didn't at all?
Mine is definitely when you tried to save what was Ariana's the girl's name originally?
Anisha.
Anisha?
When you
Anisha.
tried to save Anisha and you had to bring her body back to her parents, I was getting pretty teary. What's wrong,
Yeah.
Sarah? Do you not want to answer?
What? No, I thought this was an answer only for the DM.
You're like, I don't wanna.
No, of course it wasn't. Why would you think that?
You haven't made me sad more than once in this campaign.
You're a liar. I think you've almost cried more than I have.
No, it's impossible. I don't cry. Ever.
You do stick me the finger a lot while turning away from the camera.
Don't know what you're talking about. No, I don't know. The saddest.
Is it not breaking up with Ben?
No, that was fucking sad.
Is it not when you like when I was like he's cheering with his friends and he pulls you in for a kiss and you were just like, can we talk? And I was just like, what are you doing? But I knew exactly where you were going because it was the saddest voice.
That was the most recent sad one. Yeah, let's go with that one. Yeah, you got me good with that. I was like, oh, you know, like he's fine. I'll just, you know, it'll be amicable. And I was like, no, he's super in love and is super happy right now, finally, and I go be that person.
Rip his heart out, throw it on the
Yeah.
ground, stomp on it, take the ring and leave. Yeah, like that.
Listen.
Listen, Linda. Listen, Linda. Listen.
Listen, lady. It had to be done.
I thought you had a knife there. Sorry. It looks like these are my my cut. I thought you.
Like, I'm gonna get ya.
These
I'll
are
get you.
for opening my molds, not a people opener. Did you just refer to a knife as a people opener?
You did. You sure did,
The
dude.
whole
Yeah.
new D&D world.
Should I
Wow.
not?
See how tonight's going.
Michael, anything for you? What's a sad moment for you?
Not really.
It could be anything like overly emotional, like anything that like it could be happy tears. It didn't have to be like.
Yeah, I mean, being able to finally show that, I mean, it was more of just like I love a good reveal. So when I transformed into the Mastiff was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's like as close as I could get that I can think of right now.
Having that moment with your sister where you're like sort of saying goodbye, because everyone loves Tiff.
Yeah, that was pretty
Verity.
cool. Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, I like. Can you imagine a party that's just like it's like Ben, Tiff, Ben's hype man.
God, what would they do? That's a party of murder hobos if I ever fucking heard one.
Ben's like the awkward party leader, and he's like, guys, stop, guys, stop.
But he's always like, that's my boy Ben. He's like, do I just keep killing them? That's my boy Ben. Okay, I guess I'll keep killing them then.
All right.
All right.
Oh man.
Okay. If you have another question, I'll let you have one more.
I do. All
right, last one, and then we're going to the chat and what they want to see from season 2. So prepare yourselves.
Okay. Is there a moment in any moment in season 1 that
wait.
go back?
You didn't answer.
Oh.
You tried to sneak away from it.
Don't make me get my people opener.
There were 2 that automatically come to mind. The entire episode that had to do with Verity's brother, that whole thing was fucking traumatic and awful, and I hated every single second of it.
That's pretty cool.
I pretty much like borderline the entire episode on the verge of tears because I knew how things were going to go, and it was horrible. That whole episode, I was devastated. Second is oh shit, no wait, there's 3. Damn it. Okay, no, so top two. And then yeah, definitely bringing Anisha's body back. That was like I was actually like role playing all like on the verge of tears. That was horrible. It was awful. Yeah. Awful. But that was very much like an overlap for like being Verity, like she couldn't save her brother, she couldn't save this girl, like the feeling of uselessness. Yeah, it was awful. It was awful. Both of those. Traumatic. Trauma.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, next question.
From me and my people opener, which is a pen when you're the GM.
Did you just call it a people opener? Should I not have? Right. So if you could go back in season 1, and do one thing differently, what would you have done? A moment you regret, a moment that you look back and go, like, I should have done this instead of this.
I know mine.
Ooh, all right.
But it's only because it's like a weird thing that like I think about sometimes, and like I'm like, oh, I wish I had taken it. But remember the scene where we were in Raph's office and Elly Pilwicken saw like a book of like interesting places, and he had it open, but also Elly's stupid and like doesn't pay attention to stuff properly, and I think the Ryan stuff was happening at the same time, and you had mentioned there being something open that he was reading, and I just thought it was the weirdest thing to have like just randomly mentioned, and I regret still not taking that book.
Do you know what it is? I feel like I've told you what it was.
You said it was like some like a place, but like I didn't know anything about it.
City that.
Yeah, but I thought it was like the weirdest thing to mention like mid game, and I was like.
So wait,
we're so
your big
suspicious.
regret about the game is a weird thing I did?
I regret not stealing things when I had the chance to steal them. That's basically it. Every time you throw it at me now, I'm like, I want to steal it.
It's true. You did steal a lot of stuff from the Emperor and Empress's room during the fire, so good for you.
But that was like the main one I could think about at the time.
Okay.
I think about that a lot.
Laura, you got one?
Yeah. My okay, I mean there's multiple regrets, let's be honest. Okay, there's not just one. But if I had to pick like a crowning fucking glory of regret, it's not telling Penelope to fuck off. I can't believe I killed her and I never told her to fuck off. I didn't once tell her to fuck off. She couldn't do it. She couldn't do it. She could do it to like, yeah, she couldn't do it. But that will live as Laura and Verity's regret for fucking ever. Forever. When someone's like, you're pathetic, you're fucking nothing. And then you just, yeah. Just wasn't the time, I guess. But yeah. Yep, definitely a regret.
Ouch.
Yeah, I think Elly Pilwicken also has a little bit of regret not being able to deal the final blow as well.
The grounded.
The ground stole our kill, man. It took all.
I know, right? See, none of us did.
Oh.
You were hanging off the side. Ariana was a stool. I shoved her over. They were screaming, and then splat. Like there was no. Like it was probably like one of the most least satisfying.
Yeah.
Well, how many times did I try to
It's
check
not
her?
a feel good kill.
Yeah.
Honestly, at that point, like from Verity's point of view, she was like I cannot let this woman kill me. Like I will die with her, but she is not fucking killing me. I had four hit points left. 4. And I was like, if she hits me again, I'm gonna fucking die. And I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna die, she's gonna fucking die with me.
She had that special ability where every time she had
was
a
like-
turn, she did 4 unmissable damage.
Yeah. It was
You
like
had one
desperate
turn.
times. Like that was like I had been knocked unconscious a couple times. I had no more health potions. Like there, we don't have a cleric. Like I was like, you know what? Like if this is the end, I am not going to let her kill me. And at least this way, she hits the ground first, which means I win. It was like, yeah, so like marginal winning, but winning nonetheless.
It still counts.
Still counts.
Michael,
Penny?
anything come to mind?
Ariana?
Not really. Pretty satisfied with every decision that she's made. Because even with the mistakes, it kind of made her be who she is, right?
Is there anything that Penny regrets? Like not saying to her mom or something?
Hmm.
Or Tiff? Dear sweet Tiff?
I think the only
do you
thing.
regret the time that you interrupted Tiff's sex to try to give her back a sock?
No,
No, not even a little bit.
not
Just
even a
leave it.
little
Just
bit.
leave it on the door. But your laundry's out here. Just leave it.
Yeah, no, it doesn't feel bad about that. I think the only thing, honestly, is that she didn't get to pay more of her debt. Yeah, because if anything, she still feels like that needs to be paid. And whereas before, it wouldn't, like, it was just paid for by her parents. Like, she still, like, this is her way of paying back her mistakes.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, we're quickly coming up on 9, but I wanted to give the chat too an option to tell us kind of what they're excited for, what they're hoping for season 2. We're going to be going up north. We're going to be trying to find some of Elly's people. There's going to be a lot more Fae elements, a lot more mystery, and we're upgrading kind of all of our stuff. Like our background's going to be brand new. We're going to have a whole new style. So it's going to be really, really fun.
Yeah.
So what do you guys want to see? What horrible situation do you guys want more of? For me, I will play any game. I need no excuse to do sneaking into a ball. You know,
That's a
like,
classic. That's a classic.
It does not matter. You don't have to even give me the littlest plot hook. And I will break into that ball. I'll wear a masquerade mask.
Okay? Or I want to know if you had a favorite NPC from season 1. Not PC, NPC from season 1. I should probably say Arsen, but let's be honest, my favorite is Tiff. But, you know. Sorry. I know. Ryan would say Arsen, but Laura is going to say Tiff. But if you had a favorite NPC from season 1, like, let us know. We'll do our best to bring them back if you like somebody in particular.
My boy Ben.
My boy Ben. Yeah,
we have not seen. We've not seen the last of Ben. We've not seen the last of Tiff. We've not seen the last of Nicholas.
What about the hype man?
The hype man, who has a name. I actually.
I'm pretty sure it's
my
Nico.
boy Ben.
I wrote it down. So most people have their own sheet. But this guy's just has a note at the end of Ben's sheet. It just says Rico is his hype man.
I knew it was Rico.
That's it.
There you go.
That's the whole note. He exists nowhere apart from
Did you see what Ben needs to come back married? I fucking love it.
Oh, he rebounds hard.
Oh, Elly would kill some people. It would be awesome.
Oh, that's painful.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Good. There's another one about the Eladrin to come back. Is that the
Karis
of House Maynard who wants to help Verity take over
Karis
the world?
will be back. Karis will be back.
Yeah, I mean, Karis is like sort of in a weird position now because like sort of like the war is maybe over at the moment.
Yep. Cade's coming back. I mean, obviously he didn't
kill him.
Dimension door and he's just gonna like go on and live his life because we killed his wife and love of his life, and
We tried to kill him.
he's probably just gonna move on. He's probably just going to just live in the mountains and move the fuck on, right? Like that's right.
Yeah. Now I think the real question is, will Goose be coming back?
My baby boy Goose.
Guys, he was my favorite NPC.
Yeah, Goose can come back. I mean, are we gonna do a time skip? Are we gonna skip 6 years and Goose is all grown up and like a sexy, like 18-year-old Pegasus?
Like a big boy Pegasus. I mean,
And
we
just
do
like
want to get
every
back
once
to
in a while,
Lunaris.
his tongue will just like loll out.
His eyes go cross.
I mean,
Yeah,
if,
just like-
if Ben gets married, then Goose should be at his wedding.
It's true. He's the ring bearer.
Oh, you could definitely do like Geralt in The Witcher and just every Pegasus is named Goose.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. They're all Goose.
There's only one Goose for us.
There's only
though.
one Goose.
There's only one Goose.
Moon seems
Well, I mean, we gotta get back to Lunaris. Andrea has to be overthrown.
Yeah.
At some point.
I mean, probably. I mean, she's pretty corrupt. She's gonna try to get your man, so.
Ugh, yuck.
What the
fuck?
man.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
It'll be fine.
the
We also
fuck?
have a few NPCs, one in particular who didn't come up in season 1. Originally, she was supposed to be Atlas's arranged marriage person. So
Oh, yeah, that
Atlas was
came
going
up a
to have a
couple times.
concubine, like a mistress, and then also his to-be wife and also his boyfriend. But that became a little bit unwieldy. But the character is so good, and I can't wait for her to come up. So she'll be in season 2. So that's something to look forward to.
Oh,
Right.
painful.
You love it. And if you guys have any thoughts in the meantime, like we're always on social media, like throw us a message on Instagram or
Yeah.
Twitter
Yep.
or YouTube or wherever you want, because we're always looking, we're always peeking around, being
Send
like,
messages.
What do we do?
Send messages.
If
I know that people think like, oh, it's weird. I don't want to send us a message. Send us a message. We'll answer. Send us a message.
Laura's always there, just waiting.
I am constantly there. Okay? Please
phone is-
entertain me.
Her phone is just there.
Send me. I am constantly on my phone. So, yeah. So please send us messages, ask questions, or put comments on the post or whatever. I try and get to as many of them as I can. Whether it's through Dungeons and Dragons or Dark Moon Dice, like just, yeah, send a message. Preferably not on Facebook because Facebook messaging sucks. Okay? So if you can send a message to either Twitter or Instagram, that would be great, because I hate Facebook messages. I hate them. And they take me the longest to respond to. So
here's my question.
Any other
Laura,
platform.
Do you hate Facebook message more or less than you hate 5th edition?
I really hate 5th edition. I really hate 5th edition.
Because you love 4th.
But also,
I hate
more
5th edition.
than bards. Hate it more than
This is a fucking skill.
5th edition is the middle, bards, and then
Facebook.
This is like a
5th edition.
Actually,
5th edition, Facebook, bards. But they are like jammed right up like this. Like they are like one.
Fun
2,
fact
three.
about Verity is when you first imagined Verity, she was a bard.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated every single second, and I was like, I hate everything, and I hated the whole bard class. I started looking at the spells, and I was like, this fucking sucks. Fucking hated all of it. And I was like, and that's why I did like the dancer thing, because I didn't want to do the music thing, and I still fucking hated it. I'm not going to do it. Sorry. I can't.
We may get a bard in season 2. Laura does not have a monopoly on bards. We'll see. But Laura will not be the bard.
Monopoly on bards.
Bards are literally my favorite class. So
Yeah.
bards are.
And that's why we were a well-rounded party. See?
Laura's like, I gave you enough damage, and we're like, why don't you be a rogue then?
yeah.
Why don't you get that
This was
sneak attack?
actually one of the few games where I'm not playing a bard. So
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming out to our very special Darkness and Dragons season 2 planning meeting thing, and I'm so excited to figure out what's going to happen to these friends in season 2, and it's super cool that you guys all came to give your ideas. And if you have more, message us. Like I said, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook,
You can
Instagram, podcast. I
Post it on any post. Yeah.
I don't think you can comment on podcasts, but hey, you can check them out. In the meantime, if you want to see more of me, you should check out the XP Billionaires podcast. It's really cool. It airs every Friday, and I'm a regular on it. And also, the other people on it are in the chat, and they're cool too. So yeah, check it out.
I think that's me now.
That's you now.
that's you.
I am at Dark Moon Dice for everything. I answer all messages eventually. All messages. So I also do all the social media for Dungeons and Dragons live stream. So if you want to message me on Dark Moon Dice, or if you want to message me on Dungeons and Dragons, that's fine. I would prefer you not to message the Facebook platform, because the Facebook platform sucks, as I will say again. It will just take me longer to get back to you. I will get back to you though. But yeah, like send me your questions, your queries, or comment on any of the posts in any way, shape, or form. I also think that we should we no GM that starting next week we will have new players.
Yeah.
There'll be two new people.
Yeah, so
Joining
keep
us
following us on social
next
media,
week.
and we'll give you a few little sneak peeks of what they're gonna look like, and some little teasers, but it's gonna be really exciting.
Not one. We couldn't decide, so there's 2.
Sarah.
So look forward to that.
The Odds Collector or Sarah Snowmobile on Instagram. I don't post much, but I'm there. So that's me.
Just sitting in a corner staring at the wall. A little bit in tears.
What? No.
Just like Ben.
Never.
Michael.
Yeah, so I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the good stuff. Notes, reviews. YouTube is my main platform, though. I post videos every so often. I try to keep it pretty consistent, though, so every like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Yeah, I review music. Pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. Thank you guys again for coming out. We're so happy to have you with us for the beginning of season 2, and hope you have a great night. Bye!